Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Quasiguru Twitch channel. I'm glad to have you all join in with me today. We have some exciting news that just came from Azobo earlier here during their official session. Needless to say, folks, MSFS official on Twitch stated that they are now going to be directly working with working Title Mod. So now the people that have been volunteering there, creating code, also the pilots that have been volunteering to help out build working Title Mod to make it more functional. So whether it's the Garmin suites, the G3X, the G1000, the G3000, the CJ4, whatever we're looking for right now, folks, is going to officially be supported directly by Microsoft. Now, I have some thoughts on this, and I don't exactly know how popular they're going to be, because, you know, part of me wants to believe that now that it's officially supported, we're going to be able to see really good development. Unfortunately, though, on the other hand, it may also delay development as well. And I'll get into that a little bit more here in a little bit. But, you know, folks, I've been kind of doing some reading about this ever since they made the announcement not too long ago. It's not even been an hour at this point. And part of me, like I said, wants to believe this is the best thing for Flight Sim 2020. But then the other part of me wonders, you know, where does Azobo go from here, right? Where does working Title Mod go from here? Because now you've got essentially a group of people that are being employed by Azobo to help development. Sometimes that changes that dynamic. Sometimes it makes things better. Sometimes it may make things worse. It may make things roll out a little bit slower. As we all know, working Title Mod has, you know, done a whole bunch of great development for the CJ4 and the Garmin suites. However, they've done it in a very fast-paced session, right? If they notice a bug, they try to fix it right away. In fact, the CJ4 has, in the last 24 hours, received 2 updates. We went from version, what was it, 10.4 to 11 to 11.1. And I can tell you this, I flew on version 11 when it first came out last night, and there were a few issues with version 11. Most of them I wasn't very privy to. Mainly because the issues that I was experiencing with that were more directly caused with the fact that, you know, there's just a couple bugs they were trying to work out with flight dynamics after the update. I had a mild issue with roll issue without autopilot on. I noticed if you turned the yaw damper off, it went away, so it was kind of an issue there. But version 11.1 also brought back top of descent. 11 had an issue with top of descent showing up on the chart, on the screen. So, you know, it's one of those things. We're currently, you know, still working on, you know, perfecting essentially what we're classifying now as as basically, you know, a workable plane, right? So, I mean, the CJ4 is probably the best developed mod so far, aside from fly-by-wire. And, you know, I hope we do here in this future also see a potential possibility of fly-by-wire getting added in for Microsoft Flight Sim, but, you know, that might be a little bit from now. So I'm going to be interested here. I'm going to do some reading here with you guys here in a bit once we get up at our cruising altitude heading over to London Heathrow. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what their announcement completely on their PDF announcement that I found on their Discord. And we're going to read into it a little bit more. Maybe see what's going to happen exactly. Because now, working Title Mod's probably no longer going to be in the community folder. Another update's probably going to make it the airplane itself, right? So, those are things that, you know, we're working through right now. We're not exactly 100% sure what's going to happen at this point. You know, working Title Mod also did just recently announce, too, that, you know, they're no longer going to be able to essentially give their roadmaps over their Discord anymore or even on their GitHub page now because they're working directly with Azobo. So we'll see what's going to happen here. I'm hoping it's going to be great, but grateful to see you all here today. We got Slurthy in the chat. We got Canesto. We have Captain Cray. I saw Sticky Rice earlier saying that he was that he had, I think, a work meeting and he'd be back in 20 minutes or so. But anyway, folks, we're about to get started here. I'm going to go ahead and flip Battery Master to on, Avionics to on. Generally, we go directly to dispatch mode, but we need to try to get this bird off the ground really fast because I don't want to hold everyone up. This is a little bit of a longer stream today because we're flying from Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Leonardo da Vinci in Rome up to London Heathrow. So today's flight time is going to be about, I think our block time is about 2 hours and 45 minutes if I remember accurately. I think it's about 896 miles or something like that. So we're going to try to get this bird going as fast as possible. I do apologize for not trying to get started a little bit earlier. I did want to make sure I had my P's and Q's crossed when it came down to reading about what's going on with working title. And some of this stuff we're going to read together, and I haven't read it yet. So I haven't read the PDF yet, so we're going to read that together, and we're going to see, exactly where we're going here. And yeah, Slayer T, the corporate hammer down, exactly. So it's really hard to know exactly where we're going to be at here shortly with working title mod. I'm hoping for the best, right? I'm hoping that, we continue to see these wonderful examples that they've always created with working title mod. I'm hoping we see faster development of items, better updates in the future. And yeah, you're right, Slayer. The CJ4 was one of the only planes that did not break during the update. So that does kind of tell you something was going on. But folks, so anyway, exciting news about the CJ4. CJ4 just recently had charts added. Unfortunately, I do not have a Navigraph subscription, so we're going to be sticking to the standard Fox charts for today. However, I'm thinking probably sometime next week, I'm going to get a Navigraph subscription so we can go ahead and have the charts directly in the airplane. That's kind of exciting. It's new things that we're adding into the simulator that we haven't seen before. And that's the wonderful thing about it. Navigraph is now, basically implemented. Unfortunately, if you want following on the ground, and charts, you're going to have to pay that. I think it's, 80 euros? But yeah, that's excellent, Slayer. I'm glad to hear that you're back in the Nibble Fella again. Exactly. Yeah, we're so close to having a workable plane that's just what it should have been from the beginning. Can I get on Join FS? I can get on Join FS, yeah. I can definitely do... Well, okay, so here's the thing. I don't know about that. Because I'm doing VATSIM on this flight. So that's... I might be able to pull off Join FS. I don't know how well they play together. Let me go ahead and launch it. Let's see what happens here. Go ahead and install the new version of Join FS, I guess, because I did not have it, because I haven't flown on it in a minute. So I'll go ahead and do that really quick, folks, but glad to see you're all here. So, Slayer, that's the thing. So it's hard to say what engine to always use. Preferably what I do, it depends on where I'm flying, okay? So if I am flying, let's say, if I'm into the flight levels, I generally don't worry about which exact weather system I use. I generally stick with live weather, just for the beauty of it, However, if I'm below the flight levels, I generally start to use Unreal Weather Live METAR. It's free, and plus on top of that, I think it updates about every 5 minutes at your nearest ICAO. So the one positive thing with that is if you're using Unreal Weather Live METAR, at least your barometer setting is going to be right, and you can't get called out for having an incorrect altitude, which I've had that happen once before. That was another thing they talked about today in the address. They're talking about trying to make Microsoft Weather a little bit more accurate, because right now the weather radars and stuff are all showing up cloud layers, essentially. They're not actually showing the weather that's really in front of you. Oh, did they? They endorsed Unreal Weather. Wow, that's amazing. Well, hopefully we'll see some more development into their weather setup. I know Rex is available, and it's amazing too. However, there's a lot of work they need to do on their weather to make things a lot more functional than what they currently are. But folks, let's go ahead and let's get started here. I know we're doing a lot of chit-chatting here. We want to make sure we can get this bird up in the air and get this thing going. So I'm going to go ahead and just verify a couple things here really quick. I'm going to pull up SimBrief, make sure, verify which departure it has us on for leaving out of here. Looks like we're going to be 34 right for departure, which I think is correct. But we're going to pull this up in SimBrief really quick, folks. If you haven't used SimBrief, I do strongly suggest using SimBrief. It's a wonderful free tool that you can use for all of your flight sim needs to create flight plans and to be able to more accurately do what a pilot would do in real life, especially when filing flight plans. That's another benefit of the CJ4, right? So the CJ4, the working title mod, and this is what's so cool about working title mod coming to Microsoft Flight Sim more directly. Now we've got an airplane that's going to be a lot more accurate, and it's coming from Microsoft Flight Sim. Folks, I'm going to say this right now. A lot of people make this comment all the time saying, you know, Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, you know, is just a pretty sim. It's not a real sim. It's not, you know, you're not flying a real airplane when you're flying Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. All right, well, give me 1 second here, Canesto. I need to finish getting Join FS launched. I think I forgot to launch it here, but I'll go ahead and launch it up for you. I mean, if you want to, though, you're more than free to join on VATSIM too, even though this is going to be definitely a busier flight than normal. So let's see here really quick. Let's get this thing on here. We're going to join the global network. All right, I'm officially online on Join FS, so hopefully you'll be able to see me on ground, and hopefully I won't be paying attention to the other traffic here on Join FS. So we'll see how that happens and see how it works out, though, folks. But I'm glad to have you all with me today. Let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to go and take a look over my briefing here for this flight from Leonardo da Vinci Fucicimo in Rome up to London Heathrow Airport. I'm going to go and pull up my planning screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at directly. Currently, it looks like we're going to have potentially Pod 7E for departure. Let's go ahead and make sure that we verify what runway as well, because of course sometimes when you import flight plans from SimBrief, they don't always come in the way they should. All right, so I'm seeing Pod X7E for departure. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out really quick, clear out runway 34, see if I can find Pod 7E for departure. There are so many departures in here, folks. And don't tell me this is one of those departures that doesn't exist in the simulator. It probably is. Yeah, so I do not see Pod 07E here in for the departure. I'm going to have to go ahead and either A, look this one up, view aircraft and find you. Okay, give me 1 second here, Canesto. I'll go ahead and do that really quick. View aircraft. Let's find Canesto here. Wow, I'm like listed Quasiguru like a whole bunch of times in here. I don't exactly know what's up with that, but yeah, like I'm listed in here a million times for some odd reason. Let's see here if I can find Canesto. Where are you at, Canesto? Trying to find Canesto here. There we go, I got Canesto. See here, substitute. And yep, I'm the Candy Red Cessna Citation. That's right. Let's see here, Airbus A320. Yep, I already have you. I've already got you set up as an A320, so we're all good there. All right, folks, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing going here. We've got runway 34 right for departure here at Leonardo da Vinci, and we do not have this departure in the chart. So that's always kind of fun, right? So now we need to figure out if we can maybe do a different departure here out of here, which means I'm probably going to also need to refile this flight. So let's go ahead and just go back through here really quick. I'm going to go to Edit Flight. We're going to come down into here, see if I can find a different departure that actually exists in my route chart. See, I'm still not seeing it. So, you know, my guess is here, this is one of those things where I'm going to go ahead and reload the SimBrief just to make sure we're not missing it somehow, right? So this does occasionally happen where SimBrief doesn't completely sync, and it's better sometimes just to go back to your route menu and completely re-import the flight plan, because sometimes this causes issues. So let's go ahead and just look at departure again, see if that departure now exists. Doesn't look like it yet. See what we've got here. So I don't see any P's, I don't see any G's. Well, this is crazy. So now I cannot figure out a good suggested route. Does anyone have a suggestion for this? Anybody at all have a suggestion for this as to what I should do here, since I don't have this in the simulator, it seems like? I'm a little bit shocked. Am I at the wrong airport? I might be at the wrong airport. So it says LIRF's my departure. Am I at LIRF or am I at Lira? I might be at the wrong airport, folks. Let's go find out. 1480, welcome back to the stream. Glad to see you've joined us for this stream. We're going to be flying over from LIRF, which is Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Rome, and we're going to be flying over to, let's see here, was that LIRF? That was Fiumicino, Rome. Okay, well, I'm having an interesting issue then. I'm going to go ahead and try to get back in here again. Maybe it's just an issue loading into the sim? I don't know. I couldn't tell on this one. I have no idea what's wrong this time. This is one of those issues that I should have probably logged into the network earlier just to check to make sure everything existed. This does not happen very commonly, folks, where you're missing an entire departure from FS 2020. So I'm a little bit confused here. I'm going to look at some of the other runways, though, because this has got me a little bit thrown off. I'm not going to lie. North and westbound. Let's look at their north and westbound departure chart. Alright, let's see here really quick. Standard procedure, aircraft landed, landing, pushback landing, stop bars, permanently okay. Trying to look for the SID here for this departure. Trying to find a decent departure for here. This is ridiculous. I've never actually had this issue before. Oh, I just loaded up on the runway. That's a mistake. Let's not do that. Let's go back out. I don't know how I did that because I had the spot selected next to Canesto. At least I think I did. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Sticky Rice, welcome back. Just jumped in your non-truck simulator. Nice, very nice. Glad to have you here, Sticky Rice. Glad to see that you're here. I know you said you had a supervisor near you earlier, so... currently, I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on here with FS 2020. I'm missing quite a few departures, it looks like, from this airport we're loading up at. I'm going to verify here in SimBrief. Okay, so departing was LIRF to EGLL. So that's accurate. Let me do a new flight. Let's go and do it that way. Let's just see if maybe something got crossed up here in SimBrief and maybe it's grabbing the wrong departure. I have no idea what exactly is going on here, but this is definitely a first. I'm missing a departure for this airport. Completely missing it from the sim. I'm missing both departures. And so once again, it's saying Pod 7E to Pod X, or Gilbert 7G to Gilio. So, oh no, I'm a little bit confused here, but let's fire this thing back up just to make sure we're not completely missing out on something. Get the daylight out so we don't have to worry about lighting in the cabin for now. Come on, let's reset. There we go. But welcome everybody. Welcome with Tracker. Glad to have you join us today. We're talking a little bit earlier here about the news that just got released from Asobo regarding Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So they just made the announcement that working Title Mod is now going to be a direct part of their team. So the people that have been volunteering there now are now officially basically getting hired on as full-time staff to develop for the simulator. So I don't know exactly what that means for the future of Microsoft Flight Sim. It very well could mean that, we're going to see some better improvements overall with the simulator. It could also mean that, we're going to have more issues in the future. I'm hoping that's not the case. I think we can only hope for the best, right? And hopefully the best means that we're actually going to get something that's going to be decent. But we'll see what's going to happen. It's hard to say right now. We can only speculate at this moment as to what might actually happen here. But yeah, I do not see a Pod 7E departure for this place. This is kind of crazy. I'm almost tempted to go back to Lyra. Yeah, no, I totally understand. Let's see here. LIRF, Fumicino departure. Backnage. Be here really quick. Where I'm gonna have to manually fly this departure, folks. I don't know how I feel about that, but I could do it. I'm just gonna have to look it up. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll just manually fly the departure. How about that? We'll go full manual, fly the departure, because at this point, the simulator doesn't have it, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do it myself. So you know what? That does happen occasionally. I'm gonna live with it. We're going to act like nothing's wrong here. Here's the positive thing. I do have Pod X in here. So I'm guessing it might be a direct. That might be the reason why it's doing what it's doing. But I'm going to look up the Pod 7E departure for Leonardo da Vinci, see if I can find it. This is one of those things where Navigraph would probably come in handy right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up Pod 7E for LIRF and see if I can find the Pod 7E departure for Rome. Here. If we can find that, I think we'll be in okay shape going out, but it's just, we gotta find that departure. And of course, I'm not a big fan of Jeppesen charts, but I'm going to have to get used to it because, guess what they added in for the CJ4, folks? We now have the ability to actually use charts. With Tracker, thank you so much. We totally understand if real life is calling. We'll definitely see you back here in a little bit, though. If you can come back, that'd be great. If you can't, I totally understand, whatever. But, at the same time, though, I'm grateful that you've been able to come in for the amount of time you have today. So that's excellent. I'm so excited about this flight today going over to London Heathrow. It's going to be my first time going into London Heathrow, so we'll see how that's going to go, right? We never know how these flights are going to go, but right now we're already running into issues here in VATSIM with our departure for FS 2020. So that is the current plan here for flying over to London Heathrow. So if you need that, Gatwick. Oh, Gatwick? Is that Gatwick? I thought EGLL was Heathrow. Am I wrong about that? I might be wrong about that. EGLL is Heathrow. I'm looking at the ICAO right now. Did I mess up the title? I wouldn't put it past me. Yeah, EGKK is Gatwick. EGLL is Heathrow. Did I put EGKK in the title? Did I really? Oh my gosh. Okay, folks, hold on a minute. You know what? I'm already starting off this stream kind of rough, so let's go ahead and fix that really quick. Let's make sure I got that fixed because I can't believe I just did that. I'm going to come back in here. We're going to edit this. I don't know what I was thinking there. Yeah, we're not going to Gatwick, folks. We're going to Heathrow. Let me go ahead and fix that really quick. Yeah, but you know what? My Go Live notification even says London Heathrow, so I don't know what I was doing. But there we go. The title is officially fixed now, so we'll be able to go out there. All right, folks, let's go ahead and see if we can find this departure here for Pod 7E. Trying to find this Pod 7E departure. Okay, where is this at? Pod? Supposedly it's got it highlighted somewhere. Where is Pod at? Although I could probably just, I guess, look at the departure for the runway too. Let's see here. We're probably going to be departing 3-4. Let's find 3-4 then. Rome, Italy, Star. Those are arrivals. We need to find a SID here. 7 and 25 initial climb, 16. 34. We're going to be departing from, I think, 34 right, if I'm right. Yep, 34 right. Let me go ahead and just scroll up here so you guys can see the charts with me as well. Alright, so 34 right, we have the initial climb procedures here. Alright, so 34 right is at 341 degrees, so I'm going to go and jump that in here into our heading here so that way it's in there for the heading for the runway. Because we're going to initially start runway heading. We have to be at or above 2,500 feet before we start our initial turn. And then, let's see here, I'm trying to look for Pod 7E here for 34 right. I'm not seeing the Pod 7E for 34 right. I'm thinking it's probably a direct departure to Pod. Anita, Asino, Lat, Capex, Riffy, Cipro, Tiber. Anita, Lat, Capex, Riffy, Cipro, Tiber. I don't think... Pretty sure it's going to be a direct. We're going to just stick with this as a direct for now. Hopefully we don't get yelled at, right? So hopefully everything goes okay, folks. All right, let's go ahead and get started then. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to call out to clearance here for clearance over to London Heathrow. And we should be able to get our routing, our altitude, and our transponder. We should be departing with 125.5 here today for departure here for VATSIM. We're going to reconnect to the VATSIM network so that we're at least back online. And we're going to go and pull up the ATIS for LIRF really quick. So let's go ahead and do that here in the computer. We're going to go ahead and make sure that, since I just updated this, we're going to check our mod set here on here and just make sure that we have, I think VATSIM's now officially default, so that's changed a little bit. So we go to IDX, data link, go to ATIS, and then we're going to do LIRF. So I'm going to click send off for that. We're going to get the ATIS here so we can contact clearance delivery with the ATIS information. do we have, do you have the 727 inside your sim? I do not know if yeah, I do. I do have the 727 inside my sim there, Canesto. I do have it inside my sim. Well, did I throw it in? I think I put it in. I honestly can't remember at this point. But, okay, so folks, we have LIRF information at time 1950. Expect ILS approach, arrival runway 34 right and 34 left departure. So we can expect 34 right, 34 left for departure. Runway 25 transition level is 7,000 feet, wind 010 degrees at 8. We'll go ahead and copy that down, 010 degrees at 8. Alright, so temperature is 9 degrees. QNH is 1018. Now, folks, if you don't know this about the CJ4, and we have information, Charlie, if you don't know this about the CJ4, you can actually get your QNH programmed into the CJ4 without having to actually use any of the other computers. All you need to do is you go to the PFD menu here, and you're going to scroll down the PFD menu with the middle knob here. You're going to go navigate through the menus. You're going to go all the way down to, I believe it's config. Yep, that's it, config. And then you're going to spin the middle knob over one to HPA, so you get HPA then. And after that, you're going to go ahead and just click PFD menu, get out of there. We're going to go ahead and configure the rest of our displays here so they're set up accurately. So that all looks good so far. We look like we've got the correct departure going on here for 34 right. I believe we are very close to 34 right as well. I need to rejoin Join FS. Alright, I'm back on Join FS, folks, so if you do want to join in and you don't want to fly on VATSIM, you can do that in Join FS. Alright, so we're right next currently to runway 25, and that is not going to be the runway we're departing on. We're going to be looking for 34 right and 34 left, so let's go ahead and just take a quick look here around the airport, see if we can find our departing runway to make this a little bit easier for us. It looks like we're right over by 34 right. So hopefully we get 34 right for departure, especially since that's what I'm kind of expecting, because that's what I basically filed for. I filed for the Pod 7E departure, which we can't find a chart for runway 34 right for departing out, and hopefully everything goes okay. You know, folks, this also could be an air rack issue with SimBrief too, and I didn't even think about that because I do not have Navigraph yet, so I don't have the most up-to-date stuff for SimBrief. So, you know, if you don't have the correct air rack, you know, air rafts, you know, air racks, you're going to run into issues occasionally with flight plans. So, but folks, let's go ahead and get in here real quick. Copy the directory of the community folder and other folders again. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I think I've already done that kind of stuff. I think I have. All right, let's go ahead and get in contact here with clearance delivery. Let's see if we can get our clearance. I'm going to go ahead and just write down what I currently have, at least, just in case they give it to me. We're going to say it's Pod 7E. And then it should be after that, the transition will be over to Podx. And then Tobga. You guys get that? Tobga. Yeah, you know, I know earlier, Canesto, when I substituted you one other time, there was an issue with substituting your aircraft. So maybe I need to unsubstitute you, because I think when I substituted you as an A320, we were having issues then. So let me do this really quick. Let me jump back in here. I'm going to resubstitute you. I'm going to click Use Original on you and see if it refreshes, because I know I had this issue with you last time too, and even though I scanned my directory, I found all my airplanes. Some odd reason it wasn't working then. I can't tell you what's causing that. But folks, let's go and get the airplane started up really quick. Gonna go ahead and hit right engine button for start. We'll get it started up, at least so I can keep the generators up, keep the batteries going. Make sure we're connected to VATSIM, which we are. I'm gonna come over to the tuning page. Let's go over to clearance delivery here, or ground. Those are the two places we would contact. And it looks like ground is the only one online. They initially had clearance delivery online, but we'll go to ground to request clearance. So we're going to go 121.9 for ground.
Initial climb 4,000 feet, the squawk 1,000, Roma Airways 1086.
Right, folks, so
106 is that correct?
Looks like we've got two different towers here at LIRF 2, so I'm not going to be sure which frequency they're going to want me to tune in for tower.
Channel Italia 112.505, ready for push and start.
Yeah, sure, absolutely, Canesto.
Italia 112, push and start to the facing northeast, QNH 1018. Facing northeast, push and start approved.
Alright, here we go, folks. I'm going to go ahead and contact them really quick. Make sure we can get going here. We're going to go ahead and start up the left engine now. Should fire up just fine. Alright, I'm going to go and go flaps 15 here. Alright, here we go, folks. Here we go. Pod 7E, Pod X, Toka. Let's see if they give me as filed. Oh, I need to turn down my mouse sensitivity. No wonder why my screen's jumping around like crazy.
Alpha short of Bravo.
Alright, here we go. Alright, let's go ahead and just check over some things really quick, make sure we have everything ready to go. Yeah, so on Join FS here, Canesto. Yeah, well, I'm on the Microsoft version, so keep that in mind. I'm not on the Steam version like you are. Yeah, I still don't see you yet. I'm still thinking it's something to do with me substituting you last time that caused this problem, to be honest. Because I got you now set to the default, which would be the 78710. And I feel like it's ever since I imported those aircraft that this has happened. Alright folks, let's go ahead and call out clearance really quick here. Call out for clearance so we can get over to London Heathrow. I expect 3-4 right, I'm guessing. And I believe we're going to be climbing up to... Make sure I check over this OFP again, make sure that's all good to go. Hopefully they don't cancel my clearance because pretty sure it's been more than 20 minutes. I wasn't expecting it to be that long, but that's okay, folks. We're talking about important stuff today. We're talking about working Title Mod, joining Microsoft and Asobo in development to make things a heck of a lot better than what they are. So hopefully we'll see some improvements here from working Title Mod and everything will be great. Alright, so we're going to go to flight level 400. We're looking at airtime at about 2 hours and 24 minutes. Block time's at 2:52. That looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and contact them real quick for clearance, and we should be all good to go. Alright, Canesto, well, as long as you can see me, that's what really matters, I think, right? So let's go ahead and make sure we have everything else entered in, though. I've already got us flipped over to HPA. I'm going to dial that into 1018 here for HPA for the dial. Alright, we're at 1018 there. I'm going to dial this one up to 1018 in millibars. Make sure my altimeters are cross-checked. There we go. Those all look good. We're going to come down here. We're going to do some performance numbers here really quick just to make sure all this stuff's entered in correctly too. Come down here. We've got payload at 1,660 pounds. That all looks good. We're going to take off now. Let's go and get the rest of the numbers entered in. So we got wind 010 at 8. Outside air temperature today is going to be 9 degrees. Not much warmer there than it is here right now. So, all right, and then we've got our QNH here. We're going to insert that as 1018. It should automatically convert over to standard. This is normal for the CJ4. I don't know of a good way to change that here. But currently, this is our current system setup. So we're going to be taking off at flaps 15. Anti-icing off, not very cold out. I'm going to send this off really quick. So V1's going to be at 101, V rotate's going to be at 102, V2's at 115, and VT's at 140. Alright folks, I'm going to wait here for a quick break in the radio since this guy just requested clearance, and I'm going to ask for clearance and we'll see if we can get the heck out of here, right? Because we need to get going. We need to get going. That's what y'all came here for, is the flight. So let's see if we can go ahead and make that work for everybody. Alright. Now, something else I want to show you guys is you can actually save your settings here. So I use upper menu a lot. I use FMS text in the upper menu a lot. And the whole purpose of that is it gives me my waypoints, it gives me time to the waypoints, it gives me time to my final, it gives me the amount of fuel I'm going to have left, it gives me VNAV data now because of version 11. So there's a lot of things that have been improved, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and click the MEM1 button. I'm going to hold it for a couple seconds. Now it's saved. So if I go to memory 2, it goes somewhere else. If I go to memory 3, it goes somewhere else.
Roma is 108.
So, kind of cool features here, you know, that you can actually get just by using memory buttons even. So, you know, working title mod's absolutely wonderful, you know. They want to make a good study airplane. They've already done it with the CJ4.
Standard Italia 112 for taxi.
Ticino ground, citation 73 Hotel Papa, requesting IFR clearance to London Heathrow.
Foxtrot, Papa, Bravo, number 2.
And it looks like I'm getting stepped on, okay.
You were blocked for Italia 112, please say again. At Italia 112, taxi holding point, Bravo Alpha, runway 25 via Charlie.
Alright folks, we're going to get going shortly here,
Bravo,
hopefully.
Number 2 in sequence.
Hopefully no issues here coming out of London Heathrow. Well, coming out of Leonardo da Vinci. I'll tell you, sometimes it's so easy to forget where you're at even. So, you know, look at the aero ground movement chart here. Just make sure we're at the right location here for the taxi out. That should be runway 25. Alrighty, here we go. I'm going to look at this chart really quick, see where we're at again.
Taxi holding point,
my cruise altitude Canesto is going to be flight level 400.
Holding points, Bravo, Bravo,
mainly because this thing likes to climb, right? So. Alright, we're going to go ahead and try to copy over here again, see if we can get a hold of Leonardo da Vinci ground again. Fiumicino ground, citation 73 Hotel Papa, requesting IFR clearance to London Heathrow.
November 73 Hotel Papa, unfortunately no flight plan, so please file your flight plan.
We'll refile the flight plan, 73 Hotel Papa. Now I filed this earlier actually, folks. Okay, no problem, 1480. We'll see you maybe in a bit. I know you got work to do, so not a problem at all. I'm gonna go ahead and regenerate my OFP here for this flight plan because for some odd reason it disappeared. And it's probably because I was past the block time, so you know, this does happen. I filed it actually earlier today. I think I filed it like at 9 or 10 a.m. my time. So, I don't know what happened. I'm going to refile here and try to get my pre-file done with VATSIM again. See if we can get this taken care of so we can get off the ground and get this plane moving over to London Heathrow. Now, I'm going to go ahead and refile flight plan here. Flight level is going to be 400. I'm going to set my airspeed to about 450 knots. And we'll do file flight plan. There we go. So now we should have a flight plan with them. Hopefully.
Alpha Cat 22 Mike November, you're on the wrong taxiway.
Alright, here we go. I'm going to refile now. Hopefully at this point, everything's okay.
I'm holding point Bravo Bravo for runway 2225, that's what my scenery is telling me.
Alpha Cat 22 Mike November, this is holding point Bravo Delta. In this case, are you able to depart from Bravo Delta?
Let me just check my performance, I'll get back to you. Stand by for Alpha 22 Mike November.
Fiumicino ground, citation 73 Hotel Papa, ready to copy clearance to London Heathrow.
November 73 Hotel Papa, I call you back, stand by.
Stand by, 73 Hotel Papa.
Roma Airways 1086, pushback and set up terminator, ready taxi.
Alright folks, we're just waiting now.
Airways 1086, taxi holding point Bravo Bravo via Eco Alpha, November Golf and Bravo. November and Bravo.
It's always fun to go to different countries, though, right?
Runway 25 via Eco Alpha, November and Bravo.
Standard Italia 112 approaching Bravo Alpha, ready for departure.
Just checking over their transition altitude
Italia
over
112,
here.
contact Tower 118.7. Ciao, grazie.
187, Italia 112, grazie, buona serata.
Great, here we go. Just waiting now for clearance and we'll be getting rolling here, so. You know, Canesto, there's always that possibility that maybe I can't see you because I'm on the Vatson network right now too, and maybe Vatson network propping it theoretically.
Package to Mike November, we're able Bravo Delta departure, so we are pretty ready.
In this case, Alpha K2 to Mike November, contact tower 118.7.
118.7.
Got a whole bunch of aircraft here at this airport, though, I'll tell you what. Whole bunch of aircraft here. Canesto, glad to see you here. I'm glad to see that we had a whole bunch of people initially join. Of course, I hope we get some more people, you know, viewing here in a bit when we go to take off.
Contact tower 118.7.
118.7, Alpha 156, ciao, grazie.
Be nice to just be sent a PDC at
Ground on Italia 15
you know,
Bravo.
it is what it is.
Push and start.
Am I off join FS now?
Bravo, push and start, approved facing west on QNH 109.
Still shows me connected there, Canesto.
Push and start approved facing west, QNH 109, Italia 15 Bravo.
I can try to reconnect, disconnect, whatever.
Hello, Roma Brown. This is EG1 Papa Romeo, position 409 with information Delta. We're requesting IFR2.
Nah, I don't see you at all. Yeah.
EG1 Papa Romeo.
There you are, okay.
Check your flight plan, the route is wrong.
Alright, free route. Hold on.
Alright, folks. Oh, there we go. I see Canesto now. Yeah, I better not substitute you though, Canesto, because if I substitute you, it's going to be an issue. Because this happened last time. So, I don't know what the issue is. If it's some way, maybe Microsoft's locking down their directory folder yet, but yeah, you know, we got Canesto with the hydraulic airplanes, so.
November 73, Hotel Papa, ready to copy.
November 73, Hotel Papa, ready to copy.
November 73, Hotel Papa, you appear to destination via Xenol 5 Alpha, standard departure, Podox 8 Echo transition, running 25, initial climb 4,000 feet, squawk 5502.
Cleared to London Heathrow via Pad 70, Podox, and then is it Totka? Initial climb to 4,000 feet, expect flight level 400, transponder 5502, 70 Hotel Papa. I'm gonna make sure I heard this right.
73, Hotel Papa, stand by. Break, Roma Airways 1086, contact Fiume Tower 118.7, ciao ragazzi.
Here we go,
118.7, thank you, ciao.
Here we go, 5502, sir.
November 73, Hotel Papa, just to confirm, it's Xenol 5 Alpha, standard departure, Podox 8 Echo transition.
Sosa 5X, Podox, departure, 70 Hotel Papa.
November 73, Hotel Papa is X-Ray Echo November Oscar Lima 5 Alpha, standard departure. Papa Oscar Delta Oscar X-Ray 8 Echo transition.
Oh, here we go. So we are actually doing Xeno now for departure. Xeno 5 Alpha. There we go, so it's Xeno 5 Alpha via Podox. Xeno 5 Alpha Podox to London Heathrow 70 Hotel Papa.
November 73, Hotel Papa, just to confirm, is 4,000 feet, runway news 25, squawk 5502.
Initial climb to 4,000 feet via the Xeno 5 Alpha Podox transition. then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Squawk 550273 Hotel Papa.
November 73 Hotel Papa, I send you by text your standard departure, your transition. Stand by.
Standing by, 73 Hotel Papa. Alright folks, we're going to runway 25 now, instead of what we were initially doing, so this is going to be a little bit different. We're actually closer to 25, so I think right now he's trying to get traffic out a little bit faster than having me head all the way over to 34 right. So he did change my departure just a little bit, so we should be getting going here shortly. So I do apologize to those of you that have been, waiting patiently for me to get off the ground, but here we are. We'll be getting going here shortly.
Alitalia 15 Bravo, ready to taxi.
Italia 15 Bravo, taxi holding point Bravo Alpha.
He just sent me a message. Okay,
via, Echo Alpha, November.
Zeno 15 Alpha departure, Podex 8E transition.
Taxiing to holding point Bravo Alpha.
Now, let me go ahead and just go back here real quick, make sure I have it right again.
And Bravo. Alitalia 15 Bravo.
Runway 25.
EG1 Papa Romeo, it seems to be good, the flight plan now. We're still requesting IFR to Genoa.
Zeno 5 Alpha, Podex 8E transition. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought he said. Alright, so we're good there.
Easy 1 Papa Romeo, you're clear to destination Genova via Nemig 5 Alpha standard departure. Giglio 8 Golf transition, running 25, initial climb 4,000 feet.
Alright, here we go, folks.
503.
Clear to Genoa via 95 Alpha, departure Giglio 8 Golf transition. Expecting runway 25, initial climb 4,000, squawk 5503 for EC1 Papa Romeo.
25, Zeno.
Easy 1 Papa Romeo, read that correct.
Alpha, departure Podex 8E.
November 738, Hotel Papa, please read back.
Cleared to London Heathrow via the Zeno 15 Alpha departure, Podex 8E transition, climb and maintain initial altitude of 4,000 feet, transponder 550273 Hotel Papa. Standard departure.
November 738, Hotel Papa, read back, fully correct.
Alright folks, we finally got it. We finally got the reback right. I'm definitely not very used to this airport, but we got Zeno 5 Alpha Podex. That's probably how the simulator's trying to actually deal with things. So let's just make sure we don't have anything in here double. We do. We have Podex in here a second time. We'll get rid of that. So that's gone now officially. Let's make sure that this looks decent at least. I'm going to zoom out on the map. Make sure this doesn't look like a crazy departure here. This all looks good now, folks. Okay. We are good for the departure now, so we can get rolling. Alright, let's go ahead and get this thing out of here. Let's get out of this controller's way. He's probably, upset with me, right? Because he's been dealing with me here for a little bit, so...
Ali 15 Bravo, contact Roma Tower 118.7. Ciao,
118.7, Italia 15 Bravo, ciao.
Alright, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look around here real quick. We got Canesto ready to go here. He's about ready to take off with us, and we're going to be going to runway 25, so literally, it is straight out for us, folks. Straight out to runway 25. Of course, we're going to have some other aircraft holding here of the runway, so we're going to go ahead and request a taxi real quick, see if we can get the heck out of here, because we've been here long enough. Fiumicino ground, citation 73, Hotel Papa, ready to taxi for departure.
November 73, Hotel Papa, your push and start approved facing west on Queenage 1019.
West on Queenage 1019, Hotel Papa. Alright folks, here we go. So 1018 for the stuff. We got to make sure we maintain spacing. We are cleared to push and start. Gonna go ahead and just move here. Get around this dude here on the ground. Go and cut it short a little bit here. We're basically going straight out to the runway, right? Straight out. All right, here we go. Here we go. Alrighty. Pretty sure Canesto's going to be able to fly as slow as he wants to. Well, I don't know. He's modeled in the 787, but he's really in the A320, which means his airplane will go really slow. See here really quick, I'm just going to make sure we're good here to go. I'm going to hold short really quick, look left, look right. We're clear here to get onto the runway. Alright, let's get out of here, folks, shall we? That's what you all have been waiting for, is for me to get going. So let's do that. Let's do that for the viewers. Let's try to get rolling here out of Fiumicino. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to hold short here. He's probably going to tell me to contact tower in a second. Alright, here we go. Left again, right again, we're clear in the taxiway. And let's get ready to hold short of the runway.
November 73 Hotel Papa, contact tower 118.7.
One in tower 118.7, 73 Hotel Papa. Alright folks, we're probably going to get a little bit of spacing here. Probably going to be about a 3-minute delay because we have a heavy in front of us. But once we have that heavy out of our way, we're going to get rolling. So we're going to go to 118.7 as instructed. We're in contact tower. Fiumicino Tower, citation 73 Hotel Papa, holding short runway 25.
November 73 Hotel Papa, Fiume Tower, good evening. Maintain position, you are number 2 in departure.
Maintained position, number 2, departure 73 Hotel Papa. Alright, here we go, folks. I'm number 2 in departure. Looks like we've got an Airbus potentially making a departure right now here. We'll see how everything goes here. We got Canesto lined up directly behind me. He'll probably go ahead and just toga with me to get off the ground. So, alright folks, we're going to probably get some spacing here. So this does happen here, especially, you know, when you're at...
November Hotel Papa behind Alitalia Airbus 320 departing now, runway 25, line up and wait behind.
Line up and wait for 25, 73 Hotel Papa. Alright folks, I'm going to let the Airbus get a little bit further up because we're probably going to get a little bit of wind shear off of it. Alright folks, here we go. We're about ready to go, folks. I hope you've all heard the exciting news so far that Working Title Mod has officially now joined Asobo Studios with Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 to help further development. And I don't know where that's going to lead us, you know. It could lead us to a point where we've got a much better simulator experience, right? But it could also put us in a position where we may not have the simulator we used to have. Or we may not have the updates as fast as we used to get them. There we go. There we go, Canesto. You got that.
Winds 230 at 8.
There we go. And we got the toga thrown up too. Alright folks, I'm going to go ahead and do runway heading here for takeoff initially.
Alitalia 15 Bravo, contact Rome Radar 125.5, ciao ciao.
125.5, ciao ciao, Alitalia 15 Bravo.
Alright, we're probably going to get cleared here in a second. We're just waiting for some of this wake turbulence to die down. But here we go, folks. We're about to take off. Glad to have you join me in on the stream today. It's definitely an exciting day for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. It's an exciting day for the rest of the world as well. Ether Master, hello, stranger. It's nice to see you. It's been a little while. So, currently we're doing a flight from Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Rome up to London Heathrow. It's my first time flying up to London Heathrow. It's my first time being here at Leonardo da Vinci. This is a VATSIM event called Roma Nights, and we have some exciting news today from Microsoft and Asobo Studios. They have officially had Working Title Mod join the team. So Working Title Mod will probably now, I'm guessing, be implemented on a level we've never seen before. So always kind of exciting to see changes being created. It's exciting to see those changes come to life, right? We now officially have a simulator that's going to be more real to life, and people can finally stop spitting on our simulator, right? Saying that you know, we've got that you know, we need to have X plane, right? Because Flight Sim 2020 doesn't fly like a real plane, whatever, you know. Here's the thing, guys. Working Title Mod have been absolutely wonderful, you know, whether it comes to the Garmin suite or it comes down to the CJ4. We've got some excellent things that have come from Working Title, so it's a little bit different, you know. It's a lot of fun.
November Hotel Papa, wind 0109 knots, runway 25, clear for takeoff, caution, wake turbulence.
Runway 25, clear for takeoff, caution wake turbulence for 73 Hotel Papa. Alright folks, here we go. Spooling up the engines. Let's go ahead and make sure that we are completely stabilized here before we take off. And we're going to go to toga thrust now. Alright, here we go, folks. Cautioning wake turbulence as we climb because of that prior heavy that came out. Here we go. Here we go. We're coming up. We're coming up. You know, and that's the thing. It's becoming more and more detailed. The flight models are improving every single day. So, you know, for those people that, you know, make the comment saying that, you know, Flight Sim's not a real simulator, I'm going to raise that to them. I'm going to say, you know what, look, we now have a developer on board that I don't think anyone was ever expecting to actually happen, you know. So we now officially have a developer on board that is improving the flight simulator experience. They are creating something that we have never seen before, folks. It's not, this isn't like anything we've seen before in the flight sim community, and I'm pretty sure this is the big news that was supposed to be getting announced. So it's kind of cool, you know, that we're actually starting to see these, you know, newer things occur. We're seeing improvements with the simulators. We're seeing things that are just so freaking cool, folks. I'm probably going to get told to contact departure here in a second, so just give me 1 second here, folks. I'll be back with you. Boeing Sky Pilot, welcome to the stream. Pretty sure...
Hotel Papa, contact Rome Radar 125.5, ciao.
Contact Rome Raid 125.5, 73 Hotel Papa. Alright, folks, here we go. We're in contact Rome here. Rome departure, citation 73 Hotel Papa, climbing through 3,700 feet for 4,000 feet.
November 73 Hotel Papa, Roma identified, continue climb level 190.
Continue climb to 190, 73 Hotel Papa. Alright folks, here we go, up to 190. But yeah, I'm really excited now, guys, you know, because now we're actually seeing things from our flight sim community that we are increasing the abilities for our simulators to be more realistic, and it's coming in for, it's being created for this simulator. Of all simulators to create things for, right? We're actually getting on Flight Sim 2020. Boeing Sky Pilot, welcome to the stream. Sorry to, you know, initially say hello to you. You know, I'm kind of I'm kind of like, you know, taken aback by all this. What they told me to climb to, I just lost that. So Boeing Sky Pilot, I don't know if you heard yet or not, but some cool news here in the flight sim community today. FS 2020 has officially brought on the Working Title Mod team to work on the simulator. So now the people that have been volunteering, you know, working these amazing these amazing improvements to the simulator, you know, whether it's the CJ4 mod, whether it's the CJ4 mod or whether it's the Garmin mod, you know, now they're all actually going to be more than likely built into the sim. The unfortunate thing is, you know, as we all know, anytime that you bring a developer in and you hire them full time, it can very well change how fast development occurs, because now they're being paid, right? And of course, updates are probably not going to be nearly as frequent either. Canesto, did you catch that altitude for me? I think I was told flight level 190, but I'm not 100% sure right now.
9455, proceed direct Okuno.
Proceed direct Okuno, Alpine 455.
Or it was 290.
1 Romeo Kilo, proceed direct AC.
I'm going to assume 290. I'm going to assume 290. I'll call up if I don't get it by 19,000, if I don't get another flight level increase. But yeah, folks, this is kind of cool though. Seeing that working title mod is going to be directly coming on with Flight Sim 2020, you know, it's giving FS 2020 a little bit more cred, you know. It's good news. I just now got my simulator from crash to desktopping. Really? Sweet. Sweet. So we got FS 2020 going again. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, folks, if you don't know already, Boeing Skypilot, another wonderful Twitch streamer. Guys, he has built an entire cockpit for a Boeing. It's absolutely impressive. Also, folks, if you haven't yet, you know, make sure you go ahead and drop him a quick follow. Definitely love having him on the stream, having him join us. Gonna go ahead and turn our toga off there. But Boeing Skypilot's with us. Make sure you click that follow on Boeing Skypilot. Follow Boeing Skypilot. You know, go give him some love. We definitely, you know, love our community, and plus on top of that, if you subscribe to him.
Contact Roma 124.2. Ciao.
Going to 124.2. Ciao. 730 Top Papa. All right, folks, here we go. Contacting Rome Center, I believe. 124.2.
Roma, buonasera. November 616, Roma Foxtrot at 2,500 climbing.
15 Bravo at flight level 190.
All'Italia 15 Bravo. Ciao, good evening. Radar contact. Continue climb to flight level 300.
Continue climb.
I think it was flight level 290. I'm about to find out, right? Rome Center, citation 73 Hotel Papa, climbing through 16th, flight level 160 for flight level 290.
November 73 Hotel Papa, good evening. Radar contact. Continue climb to final flight level 400.
Climb and maintain flight level 400, citation 73 Hotel Papa. Alright, folks, here we go, up to 400. So yeah, we're currently on this flight over here to London Heathrow. Got some exciting news that's come from Working Title Mod and Azobo and Microsoft Studios. And of course, you know, we got Canesto avoiding homework again. You know, can't make that up. That happens all the time with him. Glad to have Boeing Skypilot on. Every time I feel like you show up, Boeing, like I always get really excited because it's like, you know, you almost feel like you've kind of made it in the Twitch community when you got Boeing Skypilot joining in, or you got you know, the Beach House joining in on your streams. And you know, I think part of it is, you know, you guys have the most amazing simulator setups, right? I honestly, one of these days, want to build a CJ4 cockpit. I think it'd be so cool to build a CJ4 cockpit with the Proline avionics suite. That's what I want to do. I really like the CJ4 though.
Continue to 370, Golf Sierra Papa Charlie Yankee.
Alright, so it looks like we're starting to come up into, passing through a cloud layer here. I'm going to go ahead and just kick on the pitot heat.
We are ready for descent.
Wing engine anti-ice just temporarily as we pass through here.
For Lima Papa descent to flight level.
We're going to go ahead and go to standard here. We're at 1013 now officially for the altimeter. Yeah, but this is kind of fun though. Last time I was in school was nearly 20 years ago. I think I'm more old school and I want the Avro RJ100.
455, good evening, radar contact, continue climb to flight level 290.
Yeah, this is great though, guys. I'm so excited to see what we're going to eventually see here out of Working Title Mod. I'm going to go and pull some things up though, because, you know, I said, you know, once we start getting into cruise, I'll start talking a little bit more about some of the new improvements that we're seeing. Also, if you would like to, feel free to join me in my voice channel on my Discord. If you're not already there, no, Boeing, I don't think you're there yet. But Boeing, if you want to, come feel free to join in the voice chat really quick, and we can at least have you in there too, so. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go and start pulling up some information here for everybody so we can actually see some of these improvements. We're almost at flight level anyway, so I'm going to just go ahead and just assume that we're going to be good going up. Actually, I'm going to wait till we hit 28,000 feet so I can readjust for Mach number. But, yep, so we're going up to flight level 400 on our way to Heathrow right now. Looks like we have about 2 hours and 25 minutes for this flight to go. You know, and the cool thing is, you know, we've got Working Title now on board with the Asobo Studios and Microsoft. Working Title just released some pretty cool add-ons for the CJ4 as well, so kind of cool to see that we actually now have Navigraph built into the CJ4. Unfortunately, I do not have Navigraph. So I cannot pull up the charts yet, but I'm probably going to purchase it sometime next week. So Ethermaster, I don't know what star it's going to be yet, coming down into Heathrow. I believe it was filed, here you go. I'll drop this into the chat really quick. So it looks like it's going to be the big 4B EGLL to 27 right. Of course, you know, that could change based upon the controllers once we get over there. We should have coverage all the way over. My stream is the cause of me not getting your code written. So sorry, Boeing. So sorry for holding you back.
November 616 Romeo Foxtrot.
But folks, let's go ahead and let's do some reviews here on working title mod. Let's see what we got here now. So there was some news released by them earlier, shortly after they made the official announcement. We're going to go and pull up the announcement PDF here. We're going to go and read through it together. All right, so we got the working title mod here. All right, so Microsoft and working title announcement partnership. Dear community, as you may have heard today during the developer Q&A, working title will be officially partnering with Microsoft to support the ongoing development of Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is a very exciting opportunity for all of us here at Working Title, one which we couldn't have imagined just a few months ago. Over the coming weeks, our previous volunteer core development team will be transitioning into full-time roles with working title simulations, where we'll be working with Microsoft, Asobo, and the other great partners on this amazing platform. We hope that our team's software development and aviation experience can help drive the already fantastic progress on the flight simulator platform. We do not have answers to every question about the future working title, the platform, and the team quite yet. However, we are deeply thankful for all of your excitement and enthusiasm that has helped us get to this point, and our goal is to keep this great community connected and moving forward together. We aim to be as transparent and communicative as possible as the partnership and projects develop. We ask for the community's patience and understand that we'll no longer be able to completely disclose roadmaps and details about our work in the platform. Details about the future of the platform will continue to be communicated centrally through the official development updates and developer Q&A sessions. It is also our hope that the community will understand that in order to keep this Discord community available and useful, this cannot and never will be an official support for Microsoft Flight Sim. We put together a short fact to attempt to answer some of your questions about this exciting announcement and the future. Thanks, onward. So folks, it's very exciting to see working title get in. Partially because I think it's going to be more than just working title, right? Working with stuff now. So we're probably at this point now going to see other aircraft possibly get worked on that were once no longer able to be possibly worked on because they were DRM locked. So we may see further development on maybe the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Maybe more development on the 747, right? There's a whole bunch of planes I was really hopeful for when I first started flying on the simulator, right? I was so hopeful to see a whole bunch of airplanes that were going to be more functional, more study level. And I know it's difficult to do study level, unless you do something like Boeing Sky Pilot or the Beach House, where you guys, you know, build your own cockpits and stuff. And it's a little bit different then, right? Because you've got a completely different setup than what's the norm, right? So yeah, your cockpits are study level, right? And trying to find the right simulator and the right flight model to go behind it to make those cockpits more realistic, it's difficult. So something you have to keep in mind is, you know, going through all of these newer things here, you know, it's going to be a process. Yeah, we're no longer going to see the roadmaps like we used to through Discord or anywhere else. So, but that's what we've got right now. So here we go, folks. I'm going to continue reading in here, though. So what does this mean for working title mods? Working title mods will continue to be available from GitHub. Over the coming months, the working title team will work in coordination with Microsoft and Asobo to determine how to best incorporate the features of these mods into the base sim. So basically, we're saying right now, folks, that we're still going to have to keep the working title mods in the community folder until they find a way to integrate them better with the base simulator. once they do that, then we're probably going to see some other improvements on top of that. So hopefully we see these, get integrated in the base sim. That way, everyone has this experience from the box, right? When they download the planes, they have the same experience. So in the interim, Working Title will continue to maintain the existing products, including minor feature updates, version updates, and bug fixes. So what does this mean for community members? For the time being, the Working Title Discord server and GitHub will remain as they are with no major changes. The community is encouraged to continue to interact as before. With your help, we have built a great, friendly, enthusiastic community, and we want to continue that as we move to the next step of our adventure. We ask for your understanding, though, insofar as we may be unable to discuss future plans and roadmaps as we integrate with the broader platform team. What does this mean for collaborators and contributors? We'll be working through the question of contributors and collaborators as we work in partnership with Microsoft to build a path forward. We have built a lot of momentum with our contributors, collaborators, and team members, and we don't want to lose that. So we'll be looking for ways to keep everyone engaged and working together on this amazing project. Does this mean I'll be able to get support with Microsoft Flight Sim problems from Working Title? The Working Title Discord server and GitHub are not and will not be official support platforms for Microsoft Flight Simulator issues, including any work product from our team that becomes part of the core simulation. Community members who have questions about what current Working Title projects are welcome.
Ciao.
50,
Oh man, that threw me off. There's another hotel pop-up here, folks. I better make sure I call out November 7th 3 hotel pop-up. All right, folks. So does this mean we'll be able to get support? So no, not direct MSFS support. What will Working Title be working on for the platform? We have no definitive answer to this quite yet, but suffice to say there's plenty for us to get involved with. Certainly we want to bring as much of our work from the garments and the CJ4 into the base sim as is practical in the coming months. So we'll be charting a path forward with the awesome team at Azobo and Microsoft to work this out. In addition, we'll be lending a hand to efforts to move the SDK forward, particularly on the HTML, JavaScript side, as well as finding other areas of core simulator functionality that would benefit from our knowledge and experience in aviation and software development. We hope to be able to share more specifics in the coming weeks and months as we put together our plan for the coming years.
Bye-bye.
Alright, there was a lot to be said there. It's definitely exciting to see these improvements come from the Microsoft Flight Sim team. And welcome back, Hearsay. I'm glad to see that you're here as well. Hope you're kind of excited about the news too, that we're possibly going to get some better development out of this. There's multiple ways to look at this, right? We can look at it from the perspective that we have an amazing developer on board with Microsoft and Azobo. But I can tell you this from my own experience of working through different corporate environments and stuff like that. Sometimes when you bring on another team, progress is slowed. And I think that's kind of natural, right? Because the current way Flight Sim 2020 is bundled up. Anytime you have an update, you're replacing a whole bunch of packages at once, right? You're not replacing the individual things that they've changed, you're replacing entire packages. So with that being said, we're probably going to see slower development of Working Title. I don't think we're going to see the same amount of Working Title development, at least once they move things into the base simulator. Right now, though, it seems like they're probably going to keep moving forward with any bug fixes that they have for the Garmin Suite and the Working Title CJ4. But it's hard to say from here at this point really what we're going to benefit from yet. So I'm really hoping that, Working Title is going to still maintain the popularity that they have. And hopefully, at that point, we'll be able to enjoy things even a little bit more, right? So, but folks, we are currently flying from Leonardo da Vinci in Rome all the way over to London Heathrow. A little bit of a longer flight for me today. The initial plan was just do this flight, but then, I heard the announcement from MSFS officials on their Twitch channel. Folks, if I were you, I would go ahead and watch that as well. I'll go ahead and drop that link in here. What do you mean you're blasting me? Oh, you're blasting me out everywhere else? Is that what's going on? Okay. I was kind of wondering about that. But But it's kind of cool, folks, that we're actually seeing these kind of developments that are coming to the simulator. Folks, go take a look at that link. If you haven't already, follow MSFS Official. That's where they make all their Q&A and developer announcements about what they're doing with the sim. You know, of course, they make, you know, more textual stuff too, but they primarily announce things over the video initially, so... But it's great to see Working Title join on board with the Sobo, and it's also a great thing, you know, just to see that we're benefiting more and more every day from a simulator that's becoming more study level as we go. Gosh, I wish I knew how to speak this language, I'm telling you. But yeah, grateful to have Boeing Skypilot join in today. Ethermaster, glad to have you here. And Hearsay, glad to see you that you're here too. If you would like to, feel free to join me in my Discord voice channel to talk to me. More than welcome to come in there. If you haven't already, come and join my Discord. I'll go ahead and drop that into the chat really quick so you can come join in. All right. Folks, we're currently an hour and 58 minutes away from London Heathrow. So we'll just continue this flight and see how everything goes. Hopefully we put down some sweet butter over there in London. And hopefully I don't panic because of the crazy taxi instructions I'm about to get. So, but folks, I do have Sim Toolkit Pro loaded as well. Something else I'm going to throw out there really quick is Sim Toolkit Pro's been making announcements recently as to why they've slowed down on their updates. I guess the main developer for it has fallen somewhat ill. He's trying to get into better health. Once he's in better health, he'll probably continue to make updates for Sim Toolkit Pro too. But look at this absolutely beautiful water we're flying over, all these little islands and stuff. It's freaking amazing, isn't it? So, you know, not only are we going to have a pretty simulator, but we're going to have a simulator that's just going to work, so. Yeah, definitely grateful to have everyone on board today. Just interesting news that we've gotten today from Asobo Studios about Working Title coming to join their team. I'm so excited about it. You know, I'm hoping this continues for us to have, you know, great airplanes that fly correctly, that don't have issues. But yeah, grateful to have everyone on board today.
ILS 34 right via Cap 3 Charlie 949.
And of course, I'm almost right on breaking that speed tape right now. Looks like we got a decent headwind going. We got about a 50 knot headwind on top of us. So I'm going to go ahead and just back down the throttles just a little bit here. Put us back into cruise. Since we're already up at our cruise altitude, let's try not to go any faster than that. But yeah, guys, exciting news that came today from Asobo. I'm really excited to see where we go from here. And like I said, also some exciting news about the Cessna Citation CJ4 now too. If we go to chart now, it's going to say no chart available, but I do not currently have a Navigraph subscription. But if you have a Navigraph subscription now, the Citation CJ4 now officially supports charts. So, you know, I think the best plane, if not the second best plane, depending on the way you look at, if you want to fly either the A320 fly-by-wire, you want to fly the CJ4, they're both basically they're almost getting to study level at this point.
Continue descent to 5,000 feet on...
Alright, let's go ahead and just take a look at the map here really quick.
017.
5,000 feet descending,
yeah, I can't believe we have another hotel pop-up here, though. That threw me off there for a minute. I was, like, intently listening for a minute. Looks like we're going to be leaving his airspace here shortly.
Transavia 521, contact...
I'll go ahead and drop that in so everyone can see where we're at here. So there is the Sim Toolkit Pro map. And we're going to be dropping in... we'll be dropping out of his airspace probably in the next about 20 miles or so. But we will be back on with left center once we get up there. So we're going to be a little bit radio silent here for a bit. But of course, you know, that gives us a little bit more opportunity to talk about things. So Holy, as soon as I heard my clackers, my plane dropped. Oh no! Where are you at? Oh, guys, that's another cool thing about Flight Sim 2020 if you have not heard about it yet. So the new update just recently added contrails. Do you see this? Do you see this right now? That is my contrail for my Citation CJ4. I am throwing a contrail, folks. So freaking cool.
Pro 149 ricevuto, riportate Palmarola.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I totally forgot about it too because I knew they made the announcement about it, and I even heard them talk about it on MSFS official today for a little bit. I was kind of tuning in and out. I do a lot of gig work, and in that gig work, you know, I'm kind of essentially either doing, you know, Lyft or Uber rides or Uber Eats or DoorDash or Grubhub or Shipt or Instacart. You know, of course today I'm wearing the Shipt shirt, so you know, obviously, you know, I do quite a bit. But needless to say, I was on a Lyft ride earlier when I finally heard about MSFS making an announcement, and what threw me off was Working Title said we should join in and listen to it. And initially I just thought, you know, well, they're only saying that because they're a developer, right? We kind of want to see where Microsoft's going from here. But needless to say, though, we had some pretty excellent updates from Working Title. So we're learning about things that we didn't think were going to happen, and you know, just like Working Title Mod even said in their statement, right? They didn't think at any point months ago even that this would happen. But then again, you know, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're providing for the community. They are freely providing Garmin suites that are functional, that work like they do just in an aircraft. They're providing a Cessna Citation CJ4 that has accurate ProLine avionics. I don't know what else I can ask for, to be honest. When you get all these items that are suddenly free, and you get all these improvements, I'm just astounded, right? Because a plane like this, if a developer would have made it and they wanted to charge for it, this very well could easily be an $80, $90 aircraft, right? You know, I was watching Fly 787 the other day, and he's flying a 787. He's flying a 787, and he actually did it in real life too for a while too. But he just recently retired. When he retired, he retired last year, and this was in the midst of the COVID pandemic starting, and so he retires from doing that. And essentially what it was is they had people volunteer quitting, and so he put in his bid, he got approved in the first round, and now he flies 787 on Twitch, and he teaches you a lot about what the 787 should be. So, you know, Fly 787 is another great streamer, guys. If you haven't looked at him yet, I would take a look at Fly 787. Excellent content from him. You learn a lot from him, but his airplane in P3D cost him $80.
November 73 Hotel Papa, you're leaving my airspace. Contact. Switch to Unicom on 122.8. And have a good flight. Bye bye.
Going to 122.8. Thank you for the ATC. Ciao. 73 Hotel Papa. Alright folks, here we go. We're going to flip over to 122.8. Now we got some radio silence so we can actually talk a little bit more. But folks, I just want to throw this out here really quick. You know, this airplane that we have right now is 75% of the way to study level. You know, Slurty was talking about it earlier a little bit about this aircraft being so close to study level. Slurty's actually flown in these before. He's got a friend that flies one. And we're getting so close to study level with the CJ4, and this entire time, this CJ4 has been a free add-on. They have come so far since they initially introduced it. I remember when I first found out about it, I installed it, and the first thing I recognized was when I started my engines. The noise was completely different, right? It sounded so much more real to life. The performance numbers on takeoff were a lot more realistic. And now we got Working Title Mod joining Microsoft and Asobo to further develop their simulator, and potentially we're trying to get these add-ons, these mods that we've had been dropping into the community folder for so long now, directly added to the base simulator. Did you think that would happen? I didn't. At no point did I think we were going to have these mods show up in the base simulator. So, we're doing it now. We're finally doing it.
I would say it's one of the things that...
But it's exciting, folks. It's exciting. You know, if you haven't yet or not, go take a look at MSFS Official for the updates that they've been making, that they're talking to about developers, and it's like they're taking developers seriously, right? I would say the same thing about P3D and X-Plane, especially X-Plane. The guy that made X-Plane, he's very serious about wanting to always make sure the flight dynamics are correct and accurate. He wants to make sure the flight models work, right? And that's the amazing thing, you know. It's to see that same type of build-up come from Microsoft Flight Sim, right? And that's the thing, you know, Microsoft Flight Sim was basically the originator almost of flight simulators on PCs. So now we have Flight Sim 2020, and we've got all these beautiful things happening with it. You know, we have the best scenery. We officially have contrail supported, which I don't know why those weren't supported earlier, right? But look at this, folks. We have a contrail directly behind us. I can't believe it. We have contrails now. We have the best scenery in all the simulators. We have working Title Mod joining Azobo Studios. We have the CJ4, which, honestly, my favorite aircraft, now going to be eventually implemented as a base part of the sim. That means, folks, anybody that buys FS 2020 from here on out, well, once we have everything implemented in the base sim, when people start to buy it, that's going to be the immediate experience. They're not going to have to go out and download a mod. They're going to get a realistic aircraft, realistic avionics from the get-go. Now, of course, you know, we don't know what all working Title is going to be working on. I really hope they work on some of the premium planes that came with Premium Deluxe, though, like the 787. That really needs work, right? The 787's a mess right now. There's a lot of things that are in-op in it. And it's unfortunate, too, because I think we all want to see more functional things, right? But it's all in-op, right? It's all in-op. I mean, most of that simulator is in-op. And it's unfortunate because we want something a little bit more study level. That's right. That's right. It's all in-op, yeah. But we want something more study level, and that's the thing. When you spend $120 for a simulator, right? I don't think we want to expect things to feel video game-ish. We want a simulator, right? I know a lot of people in this community that talk about flight simulators, and there's a lot of people in this community that get offended when somebody calls it a game, right? And I used to be offended when people would call these games, but I kind of see the reasoning behind it. There are certain simulators I would say are closer to games, right? And I would initially said Flight Sim 2020 was one of them. When I first started flying in the simulator, I initially got Flight Sim 2020, guys, through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which there was a deal for $1 for a total of 3 months. You could get, you know, whatever games were offered free on Xbox Game Pass, and this is one of them. And yes, I'm calling it a game at that point, because at that point, I loaded up the simulator, and I think at the time, my favorite airplane was the TPM, because I thought it was the best thing they had, but I had a problem, and I initially thought it was my computer. I initially swore it was my computer up and down because of the memory usage and all the other issues I was having. I initially started Flight Sim 2020 with 16 gigs of RAM, thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm a little bit limited on memory overhead, and I knew my processor's older because I have a 7700K, and I have a 1080 Ti, and I'm thinking, you know, it shouldn't be this bad, but every time in the TBM, I would go direct to a waypoint, right? Or change something at the bottom of the flight plan, all of a sudden I have a crashed desktop. And I initially thought, okay, there's something up with my PC, I'm having an issue with my simulator, and it was just a constant problem over and over and over again. MSFS004, welcome back to the stream. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you also wearing those captain stripes now officially. And don't forget, I think it was 14 AD or Canesto that won that last giveaway that gave you that subscription. But glad to see you on board with us again, folks. MSEP is from France. So it's always kind of cool to see, another individual join us from another country. I would say most of my viewers do come from the U.S., but of course, it's nice to see other people as well too. But it's kind of cool, folks, because now we got contrails here in the simulator. We have working title mod that's joined Azobo, and it's so cool. And MSEP also brought it up to me earlier too. He sent me a message directly on my Discord. He's like, "Did you hear the news?" And I was like, and initially I responded with what news? Because at the time I was watching, flying directly over Europe right now. So let me go ahead and pull up my live map here so you can see about where I'm at. So that's where I'm currently at, folks. But we're flying directly over Europe. We're on Unicom right now. From Paris. Yep, absolutely. But folks, it's exciting to see these developments. David Scott, EGKK, welcome back to the stream. I'm grateful to see you here. Absolutely, and that's the thing, I know a lot of people that used to say, it's a game, right? And I used to get offended over that. I did. But when I got an Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, I kind of agreed with everybody. It was a game. The flight dynamics were terrible in most aircraft. The only aircraft I flew initially was the only aircraft I initially flew was the TBM, because I felt like it was the most accurate plane model to any of the others. Right now we've got mods for that too. So we have mods for the TBM, we have mod for the CJ4, we have a mod for the A320, we have mods for the Diamond aircraft, we have mods for the Cessna prop planes. The only thing we could not mod up until this point, or we had very limited access to mod, was the premium and deluxe planes. You need an invite to the working title server. Yeah, I can send you an invite over there really quick. But that's the thing. We only had access to all these other things. We really didn't have access to the things that we really needed. But now with working title on board, that means that they may be thrown into developing more. No, I'm not aware of Midweek Madness, so you'll have to tell me a little bit more about that, MSAP. Because, of course, I know I see them online right now, so I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be busy, and I may get put in a holding pattern. So that wouldn't completely shock me. That's totally okay. I'm just grateful to have everyone on board with me today. Let me go ahead and send you that invite here to the working title. To the working title Discord page. Trying to find where I can invite you at. I swear I don't use the desktop version oh, there we go. So I can create an invite from discussion. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna invite Canesto. Alright, so I got you invited. I'm gonna invite 14AD and Slayer T and Mr. Pilot too while I'm here. But folks, welcome back, History Gamer TV. Glad to have you here joining us. So we got some exciting news today from Azobo. It came from MSFS Official on Twitch. So those are the direct developers for FS 2020. So here's the exciting news. You ready for this? So Azobo has decided to have Working Title Mod partner up with them to continue to work on the simulator. So that means now, eventually we're going to see the CJ4 Working Title Mod, all the Garmin mods added into the base sim, and we will no longer have to have them in the community folder, which means when anybody buys this simulator in the future, they're going to have working aircraft in Flight Sim 2020. And David Scott, said, it's a game like life is a game, and I used to agree with that so much at one point. I used to get offended by it at one point. Now, I don't really care. If you want to say it's a game, if you want to say it's a simulator, great, But that's the wonderful thing, though, too, MSAP. I never personally thought Azobo would be one of the companies that would be a third-party developer to come to fix their issues, because essentially that's what it is. Exactly, David Scott. It depends if you consider life a game too. I totally agree with that. And so, here's the thing, folks. I'm just grateful that we're going to have potentially more working default aircrafts. And, who knows? Maybe here in the future, fly-by-wire is going to get involved. Right? Now, MSEP, I don't know if I would have agreed with that initially. I honestly initially thought Asobo was not open for developers truly helping the community. And I say that because in the back of my mind, I never really felt like Asobo wanted to listen to the community. I think part of the reason behind that was I didn't feel like I saw them really wanting to help the community, right? Now I take that back because now I'm seeing there is that potential possibility that they're wanting to help the community. And because of that, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes next, right? So I think we can thank them now for, saying, you know what? Let's take a step back. Let's admit the fact that, our product is not that great, but let's make it better. And to make it better, we're going to bring on places like Working Title Mod to work with the Asobo Studios to improve the simulator experience for everybody, right? And that is so cool because how could we expect that happening, right? Got to make a run for making dinner tonight, making the wife cup of noodles au gratin. Ooh, cup of noodles au gratin, Boeing Sky Pilot. That sounds actually pretty good. I think I might come over to your house for dinner, and then maybe we can do a shared cockpit in that Boeing. Come on, I know you want to. I know you would do a shared cockpit in the Boeing. Look, I cannot promise you though that I will not go inverted at one point. Not gonna lie, I like flying inverted. I do. I don't do it very often on Matson. Not going to admit to it. I'm not going to say that yesterday on 14AD stream that there was potentially 3 barrel rolls that occurred while we were on Unicom. Not going to admit that. 14AD did not see one of the barrel rolls occur, so realistically I think it was only 2, but either way, right? So exactly, I totally agree with you, Boeing. It is a lot more fun to fly 2-seated, and I'm actually having fun doing that more often now. Flying with a first officer, even though that first officer's halfway across the country, it's kind of fun to actually have people join in with them and do a your control session, even though your controls isn't all that great yet. Yeah, potentially inverted. Exactly, David Scott. Potentially. Yeah, and that was my thing too. I didn't think Microsoft would be open to working with third parties either. Because Microsoft's always been one of those companies, and it's kind of like Bill Gates, right? It's like Bill Gates made a statement a long time ago, basically renouncing the fact that open source was a good thing for the community, right? And I think part of the thing is right now, Microsoft now is kind of under a new perspective. Yeah, absolutely, Boeing Sky Pilot. I'll see you later. You take it easy yourself, too. Hopefully I'll see you stream here soon again. But yeah, enjoy those couple noodles au gratin. Take care. All right, folks. Also, make sure if you haven't yet, since we're talking about him, go take a look at Boeing Sky Pilot. Go ahead and make sure you drop a follow for him. Excellent streamer in the flight sim community. Has an entire Boeing cockpit set up. Absolutely impressive. It's exciting to see. I'm going to go ahead and drop him in here to the... we're going to drop him in here real quick. But yeah, go ahead and follow Boeing Sky Pilot. And, if you need to or if you'd like to, don't feel bad to subscribe. He has Aviation H-Cream for all of your aviation needs. So, if you have a sticky rash from, a really hard landing, Aviation H-Cream is there for you. So there we go. We're doing a little bit of promotion for Aviation H-Cream, folks. You got to make sure you get that picked up at the store nearest you. But yeah, that's the exciting thing, though. We're seeing new developments from Microsoft Flight Sim. We're seeing third parties now being able to get more involved with developers directly at Asobo. And I'm Boeing Sky Pilot, thank you so much for the 300 bits, my friend. We do totally appreciate it here. Yeah, I do actually know how to use ILS, MSEP. I'm very well versed in the citation. I actually prefer ILS. I'm not gonna lie. Look, I don't mind hand flying if I need to. Like yesterday, I did an event with Boeing Sky. Well, I'm not gonna call it an event. But we flew with Boeing Sky Pilot yesterday. He I think took off from Toronto, flew down to Gary, and then Gary to Covington, Kentucky. No, Covington? Cincinnati. I think it was Cincinnati. I can't remember which airport it was, but it was KCVG. But folks, we went down there from Gary to KCVG, and that was after I flew with 14AD down to LaGuardia from Toronto area. But folks, that was a good stream. If you haven't yet already, also do me a favor, go take a look at 14AD. 14AD and I both like to sim together with each other, and occasionally he's my first officer on my channel, and then I'm his first officer on his channel occasionally. And of course, you know, definitely a whole bunch of laughs that you'll see from coming over to see 14AD and me streaming together, whether he's first officer of my plane or I'm first officer on his. You know, we just have a bunch of fun. Now, of course, we both prefer flying the Cessna Citation CJ4. That is our aircraft, right? And I've taught him a lot about it. I've learned a lot about the CJ4 over time. And you know, it's funny. A lot of the knowledge I gain about most of the aircraft that I fly in the simulators, I'm getting from YouTube. So I may learn about an aircraft from the simulator because of something that happens on YouTube, right? So if I'm talking to, let's say I go ahead and want to learn more about an avionics system, I'll look up those avionics on YouTube, just to read about them, just to learn more about them. And because of working Title Mod being so complex, and then adding so much things that come from the Proline avionics suite, there's a lot of things you can learn from YouTube videos about the aircraft, and you can also see other people that stream the CJ4 that you can learn from. It's absolutely incredible, folks. You know, I watch a lot on YouTube, the Corporate Pilot Life Dad, I think it is. Corporate Pilot Life Dad, or it's the Corporate Pilot. I think it's the Corporate Pilot Dad on YouTube, but the Corporate Pilot Dad on YouTube has wonderful documentation on the CJ4. That goes from, you know, entering in your flight plans to doing anything and everything else that you can do with this aircraft. But look at this, folks. We got some crazy cumulus clouds up here. We got a contrail coming off the back of the aircraft. So freaking cool right now. I'm so excited to see a contrail coming off the back here in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. You know, it's not something I would have expected, you know, from this so soon. But seems like every update they're bringing us something new that we can love and enjoy. And you know, while it is true they initially broke Fly-by-Wire addressed that pretty quick. So, you know, even though they're not a direct developer yet with Asobo Studios, I think I see it happening in the future. And if it doesn't happen in the future either way, folks, we got Working Title on board. And Working Title has been just as crazy as Fly-by-Wire has. You know, they've done so much work to these mods, and they've made them so incredible. They're making the planes more study level, and it's so cool to actually see that coming from these items, because we never thought we would see this before, right? Alright folks, so we're going to go ahead and just take a look at everything, make sure we're looking good here. Looks like we've got about another hour and 27 minutes until we get to London Heathrow, so we'll be there in about an hour and 27. I'm coming up upon Ostend. Okay, so I am currently... Oh, geez Louise. Okay, so my simulator is freaking out, and I think it's these clouds right now, to be honest. So I'm currently direct Barso, so I'm going direct Barso. I got about 22 nautical miles out from Barso. Let me check my legs here really quick. We were just at Pigos, so Papa India Golf Oscar Sierra. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Maybe I should have been a little bit more thoughtful, I guess, when I initially planned this flight. I didn't realize that there was midweek madness that happened over in London. So, MSFS, I'm glad you told me about it, but we're going to go ahead and just continue this like, you know, there's nothing going on over there. And, you know, if we get put into a hold pattern, we get put into a hold pattern. I'm not too worried about that, honestly. But, you know, once again, this is my first time actually... Oh, look at this. Look at these beautiful mountains below us, folks. But yeah, you know, if we get put in a hold pattern, I'm not really all that concerned about it. Gosh, that contrail is so freaking cool. Folks, I have Flight Sim 2020 set on Ultra Graphics, and I know it sounds nuts because of my computer, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm maxing everything out right now. Like, if I go to look at what I'm putting out here... Alright, so my GPU is at 100% load, my CPU is at 79%, 88% right now, so I've got my stuff maxed out. 100 nautical miles, you're going to pass me? Wow. I'll tell you what, doesn't completely shock me though either. Canesto's definitely like a speed demon in that 727 that he's currently flying, folks. Canesto imported a 727 from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, I do have a strong headwind too, so if we come down here really quick, I'm currently sitting at about a 50 knot headwind, 35, 40 knot headwind, so it's not very good. Sure, speed's at 422 right now, ground speed's at 373, so yeah, we're definitely dealing with a heck of a headwind. I mean, I could go ahead and go to clear skies really quick, but I'd much rather make sure we keep that traffic separation if at all possible. I may go ahead and request lower though, since we are up in the clouds here, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to request lower yet. I'm just going to leave this thing sit at flight level 400 and see what happens, you know. But yeah, we do definitely have a strong headwind coming into London here. But yeah, we're about an hour and 27 minutes out, 545 nautical miles. And here in about, let's see here, what do we got here for top of descent? The top of descent's going to be in about another 500 miles about. Yeah, I got clouds at 400, Canesto. I have clouds at 400 right now. I'm coming through a small layer here. Do you see this? Isn't this crazy? Yeah. I mean, I could go up to flight level 420, right? I could do flight level 420 and break these clouds. I could probably go up, you know, if I went up to flight level 420, I'd break these clouds. Pretty sure about that. So yeah, I'm not on Unreal Weather. I'm currently using Live. Now, Unreal Weather I prefer to use on VATSIM in the case of when I'm below the flight level. So I may suddenly change it to make sure my barometer setting is going to be more accurate under the transition altitudes. I do that a lot just to make sure that, you know, we're all good to go. But yeah, guys, I am currently, check this out. You ready for this? Look at this. 74% load on my GPU, 96%, 85% in the CPU. I'm currently basically maxing out this machine. So my 1080 Ti is getting a workout right now, and so is my CPU, so almost feel bad for them both. Almost, right? But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm streaming for you guys. That's what counts, so I'm not worried about feeling bad for those items right now. They're computer parts, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to get a 3080. I'd love to get a new, like, Ryzen 5900X, and I'm actually currently working on getting a new platform upgrade. So I'm going to be going up to a Ryzen 3800X from a friend that's going to be giving that to me with an X570 motherboard. So when the 5900X comes back in stock, I'm probably going to go up to that. But my 1080 Ti right now is actually being bottlenecked by my processor. So I'm not worried about upgrading the 1080 Ti yet. It's still a decent graphics card with photogrammetry off. It's actually a great graphics card for Flight Sim 2020. Like I said, I'm running my resolution at 2560 by 1080. So I have an ultra-wide 34-inch panel. That's the reason why you probably get some black bars on my stream if you're not using an ultra-wide. But I have an ultra-wide panel, wonderful panel, love the panel, running at 1080p. And, you know, honestly, I think it looks pretty good on Flight Sim, right? Like, it doesn't look bad, so I can't really complain about that. But, you know, of course, it just depends on what you're looking for, what you're into, you know, stuff like that. So let's see here really quick. I'm going to check to see why we are not closing out something here really quick. Sim Toolkit Pro Live Map. I'm going to go and stop that really quick just so everyone can see the entire cockpit here. But yeah, so anyway, I don't know. It's interesting to see, though, these new developers being allowed into the community, being directly allowed in with Microsoft and Asobo to actually correct problems with the simulator, right? So now you know what, I'm going to fight back when people say P3D is it, or X-Plane's it. I'm going to say, you know what, FS 2020 really is becoming it right now, right? Because it's the newest simulator out there. We have the best scenery out there. We have essentially now airplanes that are becoming study level. What more can you ask for? I mean, really, what more can you ask for? What else do you want from the simulator? You know? You're gonna try to get contrails in this fax bucket of bolts. You know what? Now you're starting to sound like Boeing Skypilot a little bit. So that's kind of funny. Yep, but folks, we're doing okay so far. You know, we're going through the motions right now. You know, and we'll see what happens with the Asobo here soon. Hopefully we'll see this, you know, the CJ4 working title mod and the rest of the working title mods implemented in to the simulator, the base simulator. And you know, at that point, then when people buy Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, they're going to have functional aircraft, they're going to have functional avionics suites, and you know, maybe we won't see so much of the it's in-op, right? Because I think that's the big one, right? So we see this a lot. Yep, we see a lot of that. So, but you know, hopefully we'll start to see more features added onto aircraft, less in-op buttons. Like right now, for instance, okay, folks. So when they added the chart feature here to the Citation CJ4, which was just done less than 24 hours ago at this point, now this joystick up here is no longer in-op, and you see it; it's rotating now. I can rotate the joystick, and that's for scrolling around the chart. Of course, I'll see more about that probably next week. All right, MSFS004, thank you so much. You have a great rest of your night. Hopefully London doesn't get too crazy busy here. Grateful to see you here. I'm going to try to enjoy the arrival. Hopefully we're not put in a holding pattern for too long. But I'm grateful that you were able to join in. Thank you so much for joining in from Perry. Grateful to have other community members on board with us, and grateful to share the news with you about Azobo as you shared with me earlier. So totally appreciate that. Have a good rest of your night, and hopefully I'll see you on maybe next stream. So I believe the next stream, we're probably going to be looking at Friday. I'll probably do it a little bit later after Complete Freedom stream. Initially I was planning on 6 p.m. Central Time, which would be the equivalent of 0000 Zulu. But I'm probably going to wait till after Complete Freedom's Freedom Fly Along, and we're going to be flying in Alaska. So they got a VATSIM event going on in Alaska on Friday. So that'll be my next stream. I don't know when 14AD will be streaming next, but you know, if you haven't already, make sure you also go follow or follow and subscribe or follow 14AD. Thank you so much, MSF004. We totally appreciate it. Au revoir. Au revoir. But yeah, folks, it's absolutely wonderful. We got 14AD. Yep, there we go. Yep. His name's 14AD. He likes to rap and fly a Cessna and will not give you a citation anytime soon. Yeah, so that's the thing. So, you know what? I know that the stream's doing okay, mainly because of the way I'm set up. So, I may have my computer basically maxed out, David, Scott, but I've got my stream settings set up just right. So, I believe I'm currently streaming 5500 bitrate. Twitch maxes out at 6000. I'm 100%. Like, okay, yeah, okay. What do you mean by I'm 100%? Like, good or bad or what? But no, so, you know, I've got my streams. Oh, meaning all 100% good. Exactly. Absolutely. I totally appreciate that. So, but, you know, on Twitch, I use, I do output 2560 by 1080. My bit rate's at 5500. Now, I learned not too long ago that even though Twitch allows you to max out at 6000 on your bit rate, if you max out at 6000 on your bit rate, you're less likely to hit their transcoding, their transcoding system, and basically that's something you want to have. You want to have transcoding if you're going to Twitch, because if somebody else watches you, right, you want to make sure that they have the ability to watch the stream at a lower quality. Right now I don't have transcoding, but I'm probably not hitting their algorithm like normal. But if you hit the algorithm just right, you'll have transcoding on your stream too. Now, of course, transcoding is only directly offered to partners. However, as a Twitch affiliate, you can occasionally get transcoding if you're hitting everything the way you should be. So it's hard to say whether or not you're going to get transcoding on a stream. You know, I think the last 2 or 3, I've definitely had transcoding on. This one, it doesn't look like I have it, unfortunately. I mean, at any time, you know, it could change. It could go to me having transcoding all of a sudden. But the biggest thing is making sure that when you are streaming and you're in your creator dashboard, that when you see the live symbol right next to it, you better see the words excellent, because if it doesn't say excellent, then there's probably something that you need to improve on your end, whether that's your internet connection or changing your bitrate setting or whatever it might be. Now, mind you, folks, I don't have the best internet connection in the world either. I've got 200 down and 12 megabits per second up. So when I'm streaming, essentially, I'm probably using about 6 to 6.5 megabits per second just for the stream on my upload. So keep that in mind. You know, if you do want to stream flight sim content, I do encourage you. It's a lot of fun. We have one of the best communities, if not the best community on Twitch. We're all extremely supportive of each other. I got David Scott. He's a wonderful streamer. He does a lot of around the world flying, takes us on very scenic routes. So go make sure that you take a look at David Scott. David Scott, excellent Twitch streamer. I could not recommend somebody more than David Scott. David Scott is absolutely incredible, folks. So go take a look at David Scott for me. David Scott, wonderful streamer, does some amazing work. And some of the screenshots he takes are absolutely incredible, folks. But you can take a look at David Scott. He also has a Discord as well if you'd like to join that. And you can see some of those screenshots he takes, you know, so if you miss his streams, you know, you'll at least be able to catch that. But very down-to-earth Twitch streamer, wonderful content, love the man, extremely amazing. But yeah, folks, I'm excited for what comes next, right? I just can't believe we have contrails coming off the back of this citation. Look at this, guys. Contrails. And while I'm getting bounced around here at flight level 400 because of the weather, we still have contrails. Isn't that amazing? It is so freaking cool. Like, I would have never imagined that we'd have contrails, and I would never imagine that Microsoft would be so okay with wanting to bring on developers to make the simulator experience better for everybody. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, may treat this like a game, right? I like when I can treat it more like a simulator because it's just, it feels so much more realistic. Don't get me wrong, you know. Of course, you know, I do play around occasionally. I like to go inverted. I like to do barrel rolls. I like to do silly things, right? And, you know, at those times, maybe that's more game-like, right? Especially, you know, if you're in a Citation CJ4, you know, doing barrel rolls or going crazy. That's more game-like. But, you know, here I am, being a little bit more down-to-earth, flying the CJ4, knowing I'm going into what's going to be a really busy airspace here in a bit because of London's Midweek Madness, which I didn't even know existed. I didn't know that was a thing. So when we get over there to London Heathrow, when I go to land, I basically got told I'm probably going to be put in a holding pattern. Folks, I'm going to show you something really quick. I'm going to show you the map here for what we're seeing on the VATSIM network right now. Come over to my planning screen here. So up here, this is EGLL. Okay? Do you see all of those airplanes in this area? And then we also have airplanes flying this route right now, coming up here to London. So there is a very big possibility I'm going to get put in the holding pattern in the Citation. So stick around because you're going to learn some things. You're going to definitely learn some things about the Citation that you probably didn't know exist with working title, like being able to fly holds, especially, you know, when you're instructed to. So definitely want to make sure you stick around for that. I'm waiting to configure the approach until I get that clearance directly from the controllers. So still waiting for that, but folks, look at this weather below us. It's absolutely insane right now. And, you know, of course, I could have done something a little bit different here when I decided to initially do this flight. I could have, you know, turned on clear weather, clear skies, but you know what? It's kind of fun sometimes to let Microsoft Flight Sim Weather do its thing, right? So sometimes it's better to do that, right, than it is to not do it. So and here I am forgetting to do the proper thing a pilot should do when they take off, you know, make sure all their lights are properly configured, and this is one of those times I forgot to do it, so, you know, help me, help me, help me. But yeah, folks, I'm definitely excited, you know, I'm just grateful to see that we're starting to see more development from the Flight Sim community, and more acceptance of developers that are outside of Azobo Studios, and the fact that they're recognizing other developers saying, hey, you do really good work, we want you to join the team. We want to make this experience better for everyone, not just for the people that want your Citation, right? Or the people that want your Garmin's avionics pack. We want to make this experience better for everybody. So, you know, by working Title being able to work directly with Zobo now, they're going to be able to come into the picture, start to merge these changes into the base aircraft, and at that point, we're going to be able to see potentially better possibilities from the premium planes, better possibilities from the deluxe planes. Those planes are locked down, folks, right? They're DRM locked. Developers can't do much with them. They can do a little bit of flight dynamic changes with, you know, some JSON files, but if you break those and you got to re-download the plane, it becomes a big pain in the butt, and it's no fun. And, you know, who knows? Maybe at some point I'll be flying the Citation Longitude more. I'll have more range. I'll have reverse thrust. Like, I would love to have reverse thrust in the CJ4 if it existed, right? Because I'd be able to stop even shorter. But I don't, and that's fine. I don't mind, you know, managing my throttles. I mean, I don't have auto throttles in the CJ4, and I really liked the Longitude when I initially got it, but then I was like, there's so many things that are in-op in this aircraft that it's like not even worth flying. So I don't know. But yeah, but here we are, though, you know, making this flight over to London Heathrow, and I'm just grateful you all decided to join in with me today for this flight. Folks, we got about another hour and 11 minutes to go before we land. If you don't think you're going to be able to stick around, I totally understand. You know, it's a little bit of time to devote to a stream, but if you don't think you're going to be able to stick around, don't forget to drop your landing rate predictions into the chat. Hopefully we don't get hung out too much in London for a hold. So it's always possible, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I've never been in London Heathrow, so I've got some anxiety building up, not going to lie. You know, every time I'm on VATSIM, you know, people say, you know, oh, you know, you do so well with VATSIM, or, you know, oh, you do so great with this. And the thing is, they don't think about the fact that, you know, yeah, I might do okay with it, right? But at the same time, though, I definitely get anxiety when it comes to being to a new airport I've never been to before, and I think pilots do in real life as well, because you don't know how to taxi at those airports a lot of times, right? So you kind of got to learn, you know, where am I going first off, right? I mean, London Heathrow, when you think about it, it's not really that big of an airport. It's a very, very small airport, right? I mean, it's huge in a sense because it has the most air traffic coming into it every day. But the problem with London Heathrow is, how many runways do they have? Right? How many runways does London Heathrow have? They have 2. Here in the United States, it's not uncommon to see a major airport have 5 or 6 runways to get traffic in and out. But it's so much more interesting to see how other countries handle air traffic over the US. And they're very efficient at doing it. So it's kind of cool to see, you know, what those other places are able to do because they've done it before. They know what they're doing, right? And you know, that's just not something we're used to doing ourselves. So kind of cool, you know, to see that we'll be flying into London Heathrow, and I'm excited for it. It's first time going there. It's also my first time, you know, taking off from Leonardo da Vinci in Rome. So, you know, that was kind of new. It's kind of a experience, and, you know, had a little bit of hiccups here and there with, you know, reading back a clearance, but then again, I'm not 100% familiar with the way other countries handle ATC. So there's a lot of things I'm learning too on the way to, you know, flying. So, but, you know, I'm gonna just look over my briefing here again really quick, just take a look at things, make sure I have everything down right. Looks like we got the wheel B4. I think it was the wheel B4. Let's check that one more time. This one says big 4B. Yeah, I am too. It's pretty violent up here right now. That's for sure. Definitely violent. I thought I had a different routing. Wheel D4. Huh, I may need to reload this flight plan into some Toolkit Pro because I don't think I have the right flight plan in here. That or it changed. It might have changed. Updating really quick just to take a look. Okay, this one's showing the big 4B again. That is so bizarre. I don't know what is causing that right now. Generally, when you pull down things from Sim Toolkit Pro, it's pretty accurate, but let me do this. I'm going to create a new plan. Load latest from SimBrief again. There we go. Now we have the official one from SimBrief. Okay. I'm going to just click update. That should go ahead and update everything. So now the route should change a little bit. There we go. Wheel 4B. Alrighty, excellent. Excellent, excellent. That's all fixed up now. So at least that's done. See here really quick. Just trying to make sure this all looks good in there. It does. Okay, we're all good now. But yeah, folks, currently on our way over here to London Heathrow. Got about another hour and 8 minutes until we get there. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just step away here for a moment. I'm going to let you all enjoy the contrails of the aircraft as we're flying along here. Those beautiful contrails coming off at the Cessna Citation CJ4. But I'm going to step away for a moment. I need to just go do a couple things, but I will be right back in about 5 minutes. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, real talk real quick, folks. Does anybody's room where they host their, where they actually host their simulator at, or their streaming setup at, get like extremely freaking hot? Because my room, I swear, if I leave my door shut, I go from dealing with a bedroom that's, you know, like a wonderful 68 degrees and comfortable down to like, you know, up to like 82 degrees in a matter of like less than an hour. Yeah, kind of one of those moments. I mean, I didn't leave my door shut, but I'm starting to climb up real quick. I'm already at 72.4 degrees, so yeah, you know, but my simulator setup's not exactly what I would call normal in my streaming setup. So I've got my primary display that I run the simulator on is a 34-inch ultrawide. Directly on top of that, I have a 27-inch 1080p monitor. Then off to the left of that, I have a 47-inch television that I'm using as a monitor, and I use that for the stream. I use that for OBS, so I keep an eye on OBS and my chat generally over there. And the rest of it, I do. I actually do from. I just do from the primary display. So it's kind of one of those things that, you know, I'm constantly shifting my eyes around. So sometimes you'll see me looking directly at the camera. At that point, when I'm looking directly at the camera, I'm looking at the 43-inch TV because that's where I have my camera currently mounted. And then, you know, if I'm looking over here like this, I'm looking directly at the simulator. So, you know, it's a little bit of a perspective difference. So I've got an interesting setup, mainly because I'm kind of limited on space and where I'm currently set up at. I would love to do something more studio-like, but I just don't have the room in here to do a studio setup. So But one of these days, maybe. I would, of course, I think, like to upgrade my audio solution right now. Of course, I'm using the Razer Kraken 7.1 V2 headphones. They're wonderful. They're wonderful headphones. You get great audio from them, but the problem is the microphone is a mute point, right? And that's like most headphone microphones, right? You're not going to get excellent quality from a headphone microphone, generally speaking. You generally need some sort of work to get them to, be somewhat more functional, at least in general. Oh gosh. You see this, Canesto, you see this weather radar right now on my stream? I know Canesto's in the Discord. I don't know why I cannot hear him, or he's not talking, one of the two. Oh, well, you were in the Discord. You were in the Discord channel, but I don't know where you ended up going. But, so, yeah, the weather radar is absolutely nuts right now. I'm probably pretty sure you're seeing something very similar in the A320, but we've been getting knocked around here at flight level 4. Well, I've been getting knocked around at flight level 400. I'm not sure what flight level Canesto's flying at right now. I know he said he had to slow down, though, on me, so not exactly sure, but my fuel level is starting to drop down pretty fast, too, and it's because of just this bad wind and weather we've been getting, so I'm going to go and speed it back up a little bit here, but folks, we're currently about 392 nautical miles out from London Heathrow, so we're looking at about an hour and 5 minutes until our arrival in London Heathrow. I found out that this is classified today as midweek madness at London Heathrow on VATSIM, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we come down into London Heathrow. We may get put into a hold pattern, but you'll want to stick around for that, because you'll learn some more things about the CJ4 working title mod, how you put the aircraft into a holding pattern. It's kind of cool, there's a lot of features that are built into the CJ4 that people just don't know exist yet. And of course, I think one of the coolest things that was released was in, I think, 0.10.4, I think it was, when they ended up releasing the ability to look up your ATIS. Oh, Gatwick madness. That's why I was thinking, you really want to fly in that airspace? Yeah. So you know what? I'm basically in their airspace, but here's the thing, though. I didn't realize initially, Canesto, that Gatwick madness was going on, okay? Here's what happened, okay? So I pulled up VATSIM events, and I found Roma Nights, and Roma Nights was LIRF to Lira. Now, LIRF to Lira is like a 35-minute flight. And I said to myself, well, I don't want to make the stream that short, because if I make it that short, probably not going to have very many viewers popping in, not going to have unique viewers from different places. And so I was like, well, I'd like to keep my streams generally at least an hour or longer. So this one's kind of long in general. Like, I don't generally tend to stream this long, mainly because I feel like you start to lose people in the middle, and then you start to gain new people, but they don't always tend to stick around. So trying to find, exactly what is the right amount of time to stream, right? Sometimes it's difficult, but I initially saw LIRF to Lira, and I said to myself, it's a short flight. I don't want to do a short flight. Well, then I read on the event, though, that it said, fly over to London. And I didn't put two and two together to realize that it's Gatwick madness, and I didn't really scroll through all the events. I just saw the time period for Roma Nights, and I said, well, that looks like a perfect time for me to fly, because that's about the normal time that I'm like ready to go and done with work and ready to do other things. And then all of a sudden I find out, I'm like, oh, it's a really busy event in London, so hopefully I don't get screamed at here. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. I mean, like I said, I could very well be put in a holding pattern for landing, and while that would really kind of stink, I think it adds to the content, it adds to the fun, it adds to the realism of being in a simulator, especially doing these VATSIM events. Like, that's like my favorite thing to do. I really like VATSIM. And it's because, you get essentially more realism from having ATC dealing with you and having them, following you on radar than you actually would from, I feel like, anything else. So that's the reason why I like VATSIM so much. Like, I just think VATSIM is like the best thing in the world. And partially it's because it's free too, right? So, looks like I'm about to enter LFF Center here. Let's see here. Who's LFFF? Does anyone know what LFFF is? I need to make sure I have that pronunciation down. LFFICAO. Who is that? Oh, I think that's Paris Center. Oh, look at that. We're already starting to see some more 122.8 stuff. So, who is the ICAO for LFFF? Paris, isn't it? I think there will be two. We'll see. Let's see here. LFFF. EGKL. That's Paris. Well, let's go ahead and get ready to contact Paris Center then, because I'm coming into their airspace hot and heavy, so make sure we have them tuned up here. LFF Center is 128.1. I'm going to come down here really quick. Go ahead and get them inserted in here. We're going to jump off of Unicom here in a minute. I think I'm in their airspace already. I'm almost sure about that. Yeah, I am. I'm at the edge of their airspace. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get this thing sped back up just a little bit here. And we're going to call out to Paris Center. Make sure I'm on the right channel. It looks like I am. I'm on 128.1. LFF Center, that's Paris Center. Alright, yep, we're good. Okay, I'm going to go broadcast out. Should I speak French? I think I should speak French. I might be in trouble if I do that, honestly. Paris Center, citation 73 Hotel Papa, flight level 400.
November 73 Hotel Papa, Paris Control, bonsoir, identified direct Bravo Romeo Yankee.
Direct Bravo Romeo Yankee, bonsoir, 73 Hotel Papa. Yeah, and see, that's the problem. I mean, I almost felt like, you know, he was doing that almost there for a second. Like, I got worried for a minute because I know French. I'm not 100% fluent.
France 2117, report your
But
heading.
at least we're getting a direct Bravo Romeo Yankee now, so it's kind of nice.
France 2117.
Yeah, exactly. And see, that would be the problem, because then I'm probably going to get some sort of crazy freaking approach into London, and I'm going to be like, oh no, what did I just do, right? I'm gonna like get myself in trouble doing that, so I gotta be careful. I really do. But at least we're going Bravo Romeo Yankee direct now, which is kind of nice. So, you know, that's gonna shorten up our flight time a little bit here. So it looks like right now we're down to 56 minutes for arrival into London Heathrow, folks. If you can't stick around, I totally understand. If you prefer to lurk, you can just do that as well. But folks, don't forget to drop in your predictions for the landing rate at London Heathrow. So it's going to be drop an exclamation mark predict, and then space with a minus, and then your guess for my landing rate. So I'm going to tell you this. So yesterday, over at KCVG with Boeing SkyPilot, I put the plane down at 59 feet per minute. I think the event before that, that was the really good day. So Sunday, I did a stream with 14AD as my first officer, and I put the airplane down at 4 feet per minute. So I'm gonna guess butter, but I'm not 100% sure on that butter. Now, see, we got David Scott, like, okay, you did 59. Yeah, I think you can do 59 again. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw in a guess myself. Folks, you know, do remember something that, you know, if you do win the prediction here at the Quasiguru Twitch channel, if I win it, I'm gonna pass it off to someone else, right? I'm not gonna class. Oh, we got David Scott really coming in there with thinking I'm gonna do really well. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I really don't, David Scott, but we'll see. David Scott's now saying -0. Yeah, you saw -0 the other day, David Scott, because I was in a helicopter. A helicopter. I wasn't in an airplane doing -0. And of course, you know, Canesto's a joker too. So Canesto the other day, he actually, he got me on 14AD's channel yesterday. So we're going along, and 14AD decides to replay my landing from Prince George up in Canada. That's the day I landed at -4 feet per minute. So he's replaying this landing, and
France 2117, fly heading 180 degrees.
He's replaying my landing over there in Prince George, and 14AD plays this twice. Okay, he plays the exterior, he plays the interior view, then the exterior view, and then all of a sudden, every time we landed, Canesta would drop into chat, like STKP does, saying, you know, landing rate was at minus 4 feet per minute, like so many G. Oh, yeah, that was the one I stick. So that was Sunday. That was Prince George. That's the one we're talking about, yeah. So I was at minus 4 then. Yeah, I do know what you're referring to, but it was funny, though, because Canesto yesterday on 14AD's stream, because I was flying as 14AD's first officer, he shows up, and he's in there with us, and 14AD is replaying those videos.
Traction 67, contactez l'approche 124 décimale 42, au revoir.
But needless to say, 14AD replays these videos, and Canesto's dropping into the chat like it was a prediction that STKP was predicting. I was like, oh my gosh, that's weird. And he's like, what's that? And I was like, well, every time you play those videos, it shows minus 4 feet per minute. It's like you're some toolkit pros detecting that. And he's like, no way. He's like, does that mean it counts for me? And I was like, yeah, that means it counts for you.
Bonsoir. Tinil 90 Whiskey arrival. Tinil 90 Whiskey arrival. Okeeper 6 Whiskey transition. Okeeper 6 Whiskey transition.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Teed up the Whiskey arrival, wait a second, please.
You know, actually, I gotta send a message to one of my friends right now, because she spent a year in France. I have to send a message to a friend, though, really quick, because she's gonna get a kick out of this right now. Switch that to... Hold on a second here, I gotta send her this message. Currently flying through Paris Center.
France 4154, direct Urelo, uniform Romeo Echo, Lima, Oscar.
Direct Urelo, uniform Romeo Echo, Lima, Oscar for France 4154.
And France 4154, when ready, descend flight level 110 to be leveled by Urelo.
When ready, descend 110, level off at France 4154.
France 2117, descend now, flight level 130.
I'm loving this.
Descend now, flight level 130.
Yeah, my friend's gonna get a kick out of this, though, if she ends up joining in. Because
good evening,
she spent like a year over in France, and
level 400.
She is basically fluent in French.
Bonsoir, you are identified. Direct Kazakhs.
Redirect Kazakhs.
Yeah, how's everybody doing today, though? How's everyone doing? I mean, you know, I know it's a new day, it's Wednesday, you know, it's officially What Hump Day. That's what we at least call it here in the US. So hopefully everyone's doing okay, hopefully everyone's doing well. Hopefully everyone's excited about the news from Mazovo.
Romgo 9, Whiskey arrivé, Manox 6 Whiskey transition, piste 26 couche.
Man, that French, though. Gosh, I love French, I really do. I love the French language, I do.
Banox 6 Whiskey.
Banox 6 Whiskey à France 691.
Air France 691, c'est tout le monde, descendez unité 50.
This is so cool.
Merki.
Yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, though, today. And folks, if you haven't yet, or if you'd like to talk to me on stream even, feel free to join into my Discord voice channel. I'd definitely love to have you on there, too, so we can directly talk a little bit more, so... Alright, folks, I'm going to do something here when he transitions me over out of Paris Center. It's going to be a minute, okay? But if he stays logged in long enough, I'm going to say merci beaucoup to him. So, we'll see what happens. Because I'm pretty sure at some point he's going to transition me somewhere else. But...
Air France 2117, contact 121.15. Bye-bye.
This is so cool.
121.15 for Air France 217.
It's like one of my favorite types of flights to do. Just, you know, somewhere you've never been before, right? Just so much fun. So much fun. I'm burning a lot more fuel than I'd like, though. I'm at like 200 and... Okay, so it says at London Heathrow I'm going to have 280 pounds of fuel remaining, so barely anything coming into London Heathrow. So essentially, we can't get put in a holding pattern for too long. Otherwise, we'll have to divert. And I believe my diversion airport for today was going to be... Take a look at SimBrief just to make sure. It's going to be Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. So that's going to be... let's see here. ICAO. Manchester Airport, so that'll be Manchester instead. Which we should have enough fuel to make it over there to Manchester. Now, of course, the one danger with using SimBrief, the one danger in using SimBrief, no, EGKK is Gatwick. EGCC is Manchester. You're totally fine, Canesta. But needless to say, though, the one danger with using SimBrief is, SimBrief does tell you how much fuel you should put in the airplane for your flights. So they can actually show you your block fuel number, and they give it to you in kilograms. So, here in the US, we have to convert it over, and we have to convert kilograms to pounds, and then I have to change the weight and balance on the aircraft and do all that other stuff. But you know what? I didn't do that on this flight. I generally don't tend to do it because most of the time, the plane's got enough fuel to make it to where I need to go. But if I pull up the weight and balances right now, we're down to 18% in both tanks, okay? So that's not very much fuel. That's 526 pounds per tank, just about. But luckily, though, here on the upper display here, we can see in FMS text mode, EGLL, we're going to have 282 pounds of fuel on board when we arrive. So it depends on what happens over there at EGLL. Luckily, Gatwick Madness is currently over with today. If it was still going on, I wouldn't be so sure if we were going to make it or not. But luckily, with that being no longer a thing going on, hopefully at that point, we'll be able to just transition in there safely and not have to worry about too much traffic. It does look like their airspace has died down some since then, so that's always a positive thing. So maybe we'll be in better shape than I'm thinking when we get there, and we won't get put into a holding pattern for too long. The other thing I gotta remember too is when you're in a different country and you're talking to ATC, they're more than likely going to probably call out your country code a lot, especially if your airplane's not from their country. So, the North America uses November, right? Europe uses different codes depending on what country you're in. So the thing is, when I call out, I should probably remember to call out citation November 73 Hotel Papa or just November 73 Hotel Papa, because this aircraft does not belong here. It's not registered here, right? So since it's not registered here, I'm not going to say it doesn't belong here, but since it's not registered here, it's probably better to let ATC know what's going on. But folks, look at these beautiful contrails, and yeah, I got a crab going on too. Do you see that right now? Folks, I'm going to drop this into the chat really quick. We got the Quasiguru crab. Got the Quasiguru crab going on right now. Actually shocked that did not play the normal. There it goes. There it goes. It's just a little bit delayed. There we go. Yep, that's right. That's right. But yeah, we currently got the Quasiguru crab basically going on up in the air. So. But those contrails are so cool to see, though. I mean, I didn't think we would get that anytime soon. That was something I thought wasn't going to be implemented for quite a while, but now we have them, so how cool, right? All right, folks, let's go ahead and let's get comfortable for a minute. We're going to go ahead and step out of the pilot's seat. Let's go ahead and head back into the back of the airplane here. Look at that beautiful red citation flying. Absolutely gorgeous, folks. Look at those clouds, too. It's absolutely amazing. Oh, there we go. There's an image for you guys. Just found the perfect image to show our contrails coming off the aircraft. Isn't that cool? So awesome. Oh, Flight Simulator, you spoil me. You spoil me so good. It's like they know what I want, folks. They really do. The people that work with these simulators are just, it's absolutely incredible. So, actually, David Scott, on this aircraft, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not 100% sure on the CJ4. And the reason why I tell you that is, when I initially flew the CJ4 on the simulator, I did not have working title mod, and I was really disappointed with its performance then. So I kind of stepped away from it. I didn't learn about these other views until later. So if you have working title mod for the CJ4, what you can do is you'll go outside And once you're outside, you hit, I believe it's insert, and insert will put you into this different perspective where you can use the A key to start scrolling around to built-in views for the airplane. So, you know, right here, you know, we got the sunshine coming down on us. We're under the right wing. Now, this view I really like for landings, right? Now, of course, that's something else I want to add into. So, folks, there's a wonderful program that Kinesto turned me on to. It's brand new on the market for Flight Sim 2020, but it's had quite a bit of a development going on lately. It's called Flight Recorder. I would strongly suggest to use this application, especially to capture your landings, if you're a streamer especially, or if you want to record, maybe on OBS do a recording, or NVIDIA Game Stream, you know, capture a recording of what you're doing. You can replay back in Flight Recorder your landings, your takeoffs, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to save. But it's a really easy program to use. All you have to do is you download it, you extract the zip folder, you open up the folder, you click Flight Recorder Client. It opens up. Make sure you're in the simulator when you do it. It's going to be a separate box that you can just click record and stop on. But it's absolutely incredible because that allows me to do what a lot of streamers do in, let's say, X-Plane, for instance, or P3D on replays. So, like, you know, SimCaesar a lot does these replays of his landing where, you know, he shows you, you know, the wing shot coming down, and he'll show you, you know, a view from the runway, and he'll show you maybe a view from the cockpit of making the landing, right? But he shows you all these different views, and that's because of a replay program, right? That basically exists directly inside of X-Plane. Well, Flight Recorder basically adds the same functionality to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and almost in the same exact manner. The only difference is that you run it as an external application juxtaposed directly in the simulator. So it's a little bit different, but it's really cool. It does work, from what I've noticed, 100% of the time. You know, of course, it just depends on, you know, what's going on, but look at that contrail there, folks. Look at that contrail. Isn't that nuts? Hey, Kinesto, I know you gotta be jelly over that contrail, right? Just a little bit. Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? That contrail is so freaking awesome. Yeah, and I know, you know, Kinesto, I know you'll be able to eventually get it, you know, when you get up there into a little bit better hardware. I know that might be a minute for you, but I'm really impressed with it. It's so much fun to have contrails. It's so freaking awesome. And, you know, now seeing him here in the Flight Sim, it's like, whoa. And those clouds are absolutely crazy below us, too. Look at that contrail. Just going. Of course, we're in drone cam mode right now. But it's absolutely gorgeous, folks. This simulator just keeps getting better by the day, I think, personally. Let's go and slow it down a little bit. Got a little bit distracted there, right? While flying, so.
Flight level G90. Turn 4198, control, bonsoir, direct back out, report overhead.
Hey folks, we got top of descent coming up here probably in the next 120 miles or so. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for configuration for that. I'm going to just punch in real quick. I'm just going to punch in a couple of things real quick to make sure that we're good. I'm going to take a look at what I was initially filing here for London.
Switching Unicom 122,
See here really quick. So, looks like my initial flight plan, the plan was to land on runway 27 right at London Heathrow via the wheeled B4 star. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Let's just see if we'll get in by that. It's hard to say, but we're going to just punch it in temporarily for now. It's kind of a placeholder to make sure that we get top of descent at least calculated accurately. So we're going to say we're probably going to get ILS for 27 right, and we're going to do that via the wheeled B4 star. Uh-oh. I do not see wheeled B4. This is going to be another one of those things where I don't see what I need. Almost thinking it's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and just clear this out really quick here. Let's see if I see wheeled B4 and under other circumstances here under a different runway. I do not. Alright, so let's go and take a look at our legs page just to see what we're currently flying. So we got Aliso. And then it should be the wheeled 4B. So let's see here. We got Aliso, wheeled 4B, so I'm guessing it'll probably be another direct, is my guess. Hard to say at this point, but we'll find out in a minute. But we have Aliso, then direct EGLL. So let's go ahead and just check over our stars here. I have nothing close to the wheeled B 4-star. Curious, do I have what I had in there before the arrival? I know I punched in route earlier, it popped up something different. There was the big 4B. There we go, big onesie is probably what it's going to end up being, is my guess. Let's do the big onesie, ILS 27 right. And we're going to call the transition... I don't know, we're not going to worry about the transition yet. I just want to make sure we've got top of descent marked. So now we officially have top of descent marked about 150 miles out. So that's at least good. Let's get our airspeed back up. We're starting to fall down here in airspeed because I went throttle idle, which I shouldn't have done, but that happens occasionally. So, but here we go. We're going to go and just catch up back on airspeed again, make sure we're all good here to go. We don't want to get a call out from center saying, you know, check your speed, right? I know 14's had that call out before, and it probably was helpful at the time because we were flying from, I think it was Cincinnati, Ohio, down to Covington, Kentucky. So basically the same thing we did last night with Boeing Skypilot, but we did that flight from Gary. So, but when we did that flight, I remember that was also the same stream that 14AD took off from a taxiway. So, luckily, we had a really cool tower controller that wasn't very upset about it. You know, he said, yeah, you know, no big deal. Just, you know, make sure you're taking off on, you know, a runway next time. So that was kind of cool. But, you know, I also found out last week, I think on Friday it was, Meridis, she was streaming. And so 14AD and I joined in with her a little bit. We flew with Meridis and another person over in Buffalo. And when we were doing that VATSIM flight, Meridis actually admitted to the fact that her first time on VATSIM as a pilot, she took off from a taxiway. So at least it's not just 14AD, right? So that's kind of cool, you know, to hear even, you know, controllers make mistakes from time to time, you know, even if they're piloting an airplane. So, you know, don't let anyone tell you, you know, that that, you know, you are the direct problem, or, you know, this doesn't happen, you know, ever, because sometimes things do happen, folks. Even, you know, Harrison Ford, a few years back, I think it was, he landed at John Wayne Airport with his Husky tail dragger, and he landed on a taxiway there. And what was crazy about that is he got the clearance from ATC to land the aircraft, right, on a runway. But he was told at the time.
Hope you enjoyed the line. Slow descent. Contact 121.15. Enjoy your landing. Bye bye.
But needless to say, though, he was cleared to land. He copied out the clearance for landing on the runway. But they told him on that clearance, caution wake turbulence from parallel runway. Now, while he was on his descent, he ends up descending over the taxiway directly over an Airbus. And he lands a plane. Right after he lands, he calls out to ATC, and he says, hey, John Wayne Tower, was that Airbus supposed to be holding short on the runway when I landed? And they said to him, they're like, no, actually, you landed on, I think it was taxiway Charlie, right? And of course, you know, immediately, because that's a pretty serious thing in aviation, right? If you land on a taxiway, that's very serious, especially if you land on a taxiway when another plane is occupying that space. So anyway, he lands on taxiway Charlie. They tell him, you know, possible pilot deviation, need you to call this phone number, and are you ready to copy? He says, yes, I'm ready to copy. He takes the phone number down, and then he contacts the tower via the phone number, and they have a quick conversation. The first thing he says, Harrison Ford says to the tower, is he's like, hey, I'm the schmuck that landed on the taxiway. And he immediately tries to explain himself, even though the controller's trying to cut in and say, hey, you know, this is pretty serious, you know, we have to file a report over this, right? And, luckily for Harrison Ford, he didn't lose his pilot's license. But, he basically said, look, it was a mistake. I was lined up for the runway, and then I think I was also focused on the fact that you said, caution wake turbulence from parallel runway, and he's like, it was a complete mistake. I feel, I'm a smook. I messed up really bad here. I understand that. And, we have to do whatever we have to do. I totally get it. And luckily, when the FAA did their investigation, they actually didn't even require any remedial training. So, and I don't know, that could very well be just because, he's got millions and millions of dollars from all of his movies, or the fact that, he's a really cool, he's a pretty cool human being when you think about it in general. He does a lot of mission work, outside of the United States. He actually,
if you would like a shortcut.
I think was back in 2000. He was in a different country doing some missionary work for flying his own aircraft, of course, doing some missionary work for supporting a Chef Lip program. So it's kind of cool, and at least he didn't lose his pilot license over it. But it's definitely a reminder, right? Because shortly after that, we had the Air Canada incident over in the airport where an Air Canada plane nearly landed on a taxiway, which had I think 4 different aircraft, lined up waiting for the runway, basically. So, the big thing to remember is, in aviation, things do happen, and the thing is, we have to learn from them, right? So, simulators, we can learn a lot, especially, those of us that are aviation enthusiasts. We, as aviation enthusiasts that do not have a pilot's license or do not fly directly themselves, we can learn a lot, too. And I think there's a point in which, there is that keyboard warrior syndrome that comes from people that are just aviation enthusiasts, that are like, oh, well, I know everything. And it's hard to do that. There's a lot of YouTubers I watch on YouTube that deal with aviation, and Mojo Grip Mike, he's one of them that I watched lately, and he built this wonderful kit plane. It's an experimental Sling TSI. But he ended up throwing on this prop on it that's not very common to put on a high RPM motor. And he explained the reasoning behind it. And, of course, the YouTube keyboard warriors go to work and they basically tear him apart saying, well, you shouldn't operate this engine at this RPM. And, this prop's not designed for this kind of RPM. And, he explained it out completely. And, I kind of feel like, when as your celebrity-dom, I guess we're going to call it that, or as that starts to increase, you're definitely put more under the scope of what other people want to see you do, potentially, right? And it's unfortunate, that happens, but at the same time, though, it makes sense because, all of a sudden, because now you're a lot more popular, more people are going to be focused on you. So it's trying to keep that in mind, that, you're probably going to come under more scrutiny, if you're Harrison Ford and you make a mistake, or if you're a big airline and you make a mistake, or, if you're a keyboard warrior and, that's all you are, you're not a pilot, well, you're not going to come under as much scrutiny. But at the same time, though, I think it's better to learn what you're doing than to, just assume that, you know everything, right? So,
level 350.
Down to the flight level 350, thanks very much, Golf Papa Alpha.
Yeah, folks, we'll see what's going to happen here shortly. We're not too far out from London Heathrow now. We're about 33 minutes out from the airport. Hopefully we still have coverage when we get over there. Currently I am showing, let's see here, I see EGKK's online, EHG's online, LFPG's online. We're not close enough to tower to get a frequency yet for them. But let's go ahead and just take a look at SimToolkit Pro here, or that Spy, just to make sure to see if we actually have coverage there. I think we still do at this point. Loading up the map right now. So EGLL is officially not online right now. So in a way, that's kind of a good thing because I should be able to get down faster there. Also, their traffic's died a lot too. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's no guarantee that everything's going to be, completely smooth, but hopefully we have a safe landing here over here at at London Heathrow. And, unfortunately it won't be with the controller, but at least we had some fun controllers to deal with here. Here's some people speaking different languages, and that's always kind of cool too. So the credit goes to the person in the arena. Exactly. David Scott, that is so true. That's so true. But yeah, folks, I'm excited about the new changes that we're seeing now, coming from Microsoft, seeing that they're being very open about wanting to bring on other developers to improve the simulator experience for everybody. To see that we've now got jet contrails up in the air at these flight levels, that's freaking amazing. To know that Working Title is now aboard Microsoft, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. And, I can only hope at the end of the day that with everything that we've seen so far that, how should I say it? I can only really hope that we continue to see improvements and that this isn't a last hurrah, right? And the only reason why I say that is because, I've said it before. The fact of the matter is, you're not always going to get improvements when, communities are merging together, stuff like that. Sometimes, you're going to have issues with seeking improvements because at the times, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, I guess, as to, where things are going. But for now, what I'm going to say is, we haven't seen anything negative yet occur. This has all been positive so far. This is all going to be stuff that we're going to see that's going to improve our experience at the simulator. And, only time will tell to see what happens with Working Title Mod here in the future. And whether they'll still be able to develop as quickly or if their development schedule is going to slow down. And my guess is the development schedule is going to slow down because the flight sim update schedule is once a month max, generally speaking. I mean, yeah, we had 2 updates over this month, basically. But aside from that, though, we only see once a month, maybe once every 2 months, 3 months for Flight Sim 2020. Now, there's always a possibility, too, that this also means that we're going to see updates more frequently, too. So, hopefully we do see more updates here for Flight Sim 2020. That's all I can hope for. I hope the rest of the community hopes for the same thing, too, because I think we all want a better experience from dealing with a simulator, right? I would be really grateful if they incorporate mixed field into the simulator, but I doubt that's going to happen because, let's be real, the field's gone. The field is gone. So, but it's cool, though, that we are gaining some more knowledge, more working knowledge of how these simulators work and stuff, and, who knows? One of these days, we're just going to keep seeing these improvements as things go along, and hopefully everything's going to be, the way we expect it to be, right? I mean, we don't know what the future's going to hold at this point, right? We have no idea. So the future's uncertain, but at the same time, with that being said, even though the future might be uncertain, folks, that doesn't mean that, everything's all over for Microsoft. I mean, this is definitely a new...
4198, nothing further, monitor. Unicom 122 decimal, don't sorry.
It's an exciting change for Microsoft.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
To see them actually say, you know what, we support developers, we support people that are open source, we support these groups because these communities mean so much to those people that are actually flying along. If Apple were to develop a sim, I'm pretty sure they would probably, just make one simulator with one airplane that looked one certain way, because that's basically the way Apple's always done things, right? They don't always listen to their communities, I feel like, personally. That's just me. Because it takes Apple so long to listen to a community, and at that point, it's almost kind of too late. I mean, a lot of people are Apple fans for a reason, right? Because it's the same thing, maybe just a little bit different, right? And I get that. I understand that. Personally, I'm not an Apple person. I'm an Android person, right? But to me, I also like what Android has to offer me, too. It's a little bit more open source. Yes, some things in Android, are not completely open source. Like when a phone manufacturer decides to make their own version of Android, or they decide to make, their own...
Kilo arrival landing 33.
See here really quick. I'm just trying to make sure I'm paying attention to him really quick. I don't know what's going to happen here.
752 Bravo, funny story, that's
Right.
what we had planned.
There's our top of descent again. I forgot to click execute, so that was my fault. But we have top of descent coming up here in less than 100 miles now, so what we'll probably do here shortly is we're probably going to contact Paris Center for descent here soon. Oh, never mind. Looks like I am not going to be under control of anybody. I might get approached when we get closer, but that's totally fine.
Bonsoir, November 73 Hotel Papa will be closing shortly. Monitor Unicom 122.8. Bye-bye.
Going to Unicom 122.8. Thanks for the HPC. Bonsoir, 70 Papa. Alright, folks, we're going to 122.8 now. Alright, there we go. We are officially no longer being dealt with by Paris Center, so now at this point, it's just us, folks. It's just us. So at this point, we need to make sure that when we're coming down into London Heathrow that we are fully aware of what's going on, and just make sure that we are ready for landing there. 5x5, 7 Yeah, but that's the thing, folks. You know, we're in a new era now with Flight Sim. And you know, it's funny because I was showing FS 2020 to a friend that used to do Flight Sim back when Windows 3.1 was out. So, you know, really old version of Flight Sim, didn't look very good. And, you know, it's funny because even back then they had the as real as it gets remark, right? That was always their motto. I think even FSX did FSX say, yeah, I think FS 2000 had as real as it gets. When we went to FSX, I think the motto became something different. But I know back in FS 98, as real as it gets was still applied. But I showed FS 2020 to a friend that hasn't seen it in a long time, and he's like, it looks so much better than it's ever looked. And I was like, yeah, you know, but it doesn't just look better, but it also flies better, right? Like, it performs so much better than it ever has. And don't get me wrong, yeah, it requires some decent hardware to get FS 2020 running correctly. And, you know, even then, you know, I'm not happy with my setup right now. I mean, yeah, it's better than some people's setups, and I get that. But at the same time, though, I still want something faster so I can handle it a little bit better. Like, I would really love to run photogrammetry 100% of the time because, as I learned over in Las Vegas, photogrammetry makes 100% difference night and day flying over there in Las Vegas. And some cities, it makes barely any difference. So it's kind of interesting, like, you know, London City, for instance, because, you know, they did the UK update. The UK World update, when they did that, London City was actually upgraded pretty well. So it was kind of, it threw people off because, like, I went over there and, you know, Mr. Pilot 222 on one of my streams, I think this was, not this Monday, but the prior Monday, I was over in London City. And I decided to do a group fly-along there, and when we were doing the fly-along in London City, Mr. Pilot 222 said, you know, try turning off photogrammetry. Now, I didn't do it then. I waited until Wednesday, the next stream. I finally turned it off because I think I was messing with JFK at some point. It wasn't on stream, but I came into JFK, I shut off photogrammetry, my frames per second went up like 15 frames per second. But the problem is, photogrammetry requires that you have a whole bunch of CPU cores to basically throw at it. My 7700K, I'm limited to 4 cores, 8 threads, and you might think that's enough, but it's not for the simulator. This simulator demands so much out of your hardware. And like I said earlier, my CPU and GPU were almost maxed out earlier just running this stream. So it's kind of interesting, you know, I mean, I'm sure, you know, you'll see the occasional stutter in my stream, but for the most part, it's pretty smooth. Most everything in my stream is pretty smooth. Then again, I do have my sim set up on ultra settings for the simulator because who doesn't want the sim to look pretty, right? I want it to look pretty, but I also want to be able to functionally fly my aircraft. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. You know, if you're looking for a simulator that's pretty, you know, FS 2020's got it, right? But now we got contrails. Now we got working Title Mod working on the team with the Zobo, and I don't know if that was the big news, though. Like, I really was hoping to hear about the A380 being, you know, released by Fly-by-Wire, but I'm almost starting to think working Title Mod, working with the Zobo is the big news everybody's been speaking about, right? I wonder. I wonder if that's been updated yet. Let's hear. Big news. Flight Sim. here. The big announcement revealed. Wait a second. Wait, spending $30 for add-on? Hub for flight simulator enthusiasts. So flight simulation. Now I'm really kind of wondering. So it looks like Flight Sim Association now has a program where you can pay $30 and get discounts on things. I don't exactly know if that sounds completely appeasing to me. Like, I don't think I'd want to spend that much for that. I think the bigger news was honestly Azobo joining Microsoft and saying, you know, well, Azobo saying, you know, let's bring Working Title onto the team. I think that's big news. If you ask me, that's the biggest news that we've had so far with Flight Sim 2020. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think anybody was, right? Rick Astley Smell Like is new here. Can you turn the left engine off? You want the left engine off? Why? I'm gonna slow down quite a bit if I shut off that left engine. But thank you so much, Rick Astley, for the follow. We do totally appreciate here. Just to recreate a crash. Okay, so that crash, well, it wasn't a crash. So there was actually a Cessna Citation, I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago, had a flight between, I don't remember where that flight occurred from, but it was like, I think they were flying over to PA, where they actually had both engines shut down in the air. And when those engines shut down in the air, it was because something got mixed with their jet fuel. Well, okay, so they had A1 fuel inside of a DEF container. There was still some DEF left in there. The problem is DEF has like a freeze point of like, I think it's like 5 degrees or something like that. Well, of course, you know, when you're up in the air, it gets really cold really fast. And, you know, jet fuel, you don't have a freeze point until you're about like 45 to 48, negative 48 Celsius. But DEF freezes a lot sooner, so they actually had both engines spin down on them in air. They couldn't get them to restart, and they ended up still landing safely at an alternate airport. But yeah, currently Rick Astley Smell Like, we're currently flying from Leonardo da Vinci in Rome over to London Heathrow. We're about to start our top of descent here, coming down into London Heathrow. So grateful to have you join on board with us. We're about a total of 21 minutes out. First time flying into London Heathrow. We're on the BATSIM network, so we may have ATC coming down, but it doesn't look to be too good right now. I know Paris Center just went offline, so we'll see what happens here, but grateful to have you on board, folks. I think with him joining in here, so we had Showtax follow yesterday. Rick Astley Smell Like just joined in, so that's going to put us at, I believe, 97 followers. So we're currently 3 followers away from 100. Yeah, you know, honestly, I would normally turn it off. I'm trying to get down here into London as fast as possible because I got to go back to work after I land this plane, so. Here we go. And we're slowing back down here. 96 on my page. What page? This is the Cessna Citation CJ4 working title mod. This is version .111 currently. This is version 11.1. But yeah, the exciting news today though is from Asobo. Asobo's teamed up with Working Title Mod. And now that means Working Title Mod's going to start bringing in all their other stuff as well too. It says 96 on my page. Thought we were one higher than that. Thought we would have been at 97. Maybe I wasn't keeping track of my followers earlier. Yeah, I'm showing 97 now, David Scott. Yeah, mine's showing 97 now, so I just pulled up the page to verify it. But yeah, folks, coming on down here into London Heathrow. Definitely had a whole bunch of fun flying with you guys, talking about the new news from Microsoft, and then, you know, bringing in Working Title Mod to help them work on the simulator, to add features to make it more realistic, to also make their mods more more implemented into base aircraft, so that way we have working title mods implemented into the base aircraft, which means when you get into a plane, once it's done and completed, out of the box, you're going to have this experience. You're not going to have to install those mods in your community folders to get functional avionics or a functional CJ4 or whatever else they're going to work on here in the future. But the cool thing this opens up the opportunity for is this opens up further possibilities for developers to come in and mess with the premium deluxe planes. Yep, exactly. 3 away from 100 now, so look above. Are you above me right now? Oh, geez Louise. So we got Canesto coming in hot and heavy with a 727. He is currently flying with Join FS, folks, so you know you can always join in with Join FS when I'm doing these VATSIM flights. Of course, it's kind of interesting, you know, being able to see him coming in as well. You know, VATSIM, I generally tend to stay logged out of the network to deal with. I generally tend to stay logged out of things like Join FS and stuff because I want to make sure the traffic that I'm seeing is what is showing on VATSIM. So I'm going to be a little bit thrown by the Join FS, but we're just gonna ignore the fact that, you know, Join FS is currently showing up as we descend here into London Heathrow. But folks, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for learning the new things that we're learning right now about Flight Sim 2020, the improvements that we're going to see here in the future. And who knows, you know, this also opens up the possibility of the fly-by-wire team to eventually join Microsoft and Azobo in making, you know, these planes more realistic. You know, I mean, fly-by-wire has been doing a wonderful job on the Airbus. So, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll see more full-time employees with the Azobo Studios working together to make these planes more functional, make less things in-app, because that's a big thing too, right? You know, let's make sure, you know, these planes aren't all in-app. There we go. Exactly. It's all in-app. Exactly. So, but folks, I'm grateful to have all of you aboard today. I'm so excited about the news from Microsoft and Azobo Studios that we're essentially seeing these improvements that we've been all waiting for. This is something I'm pretty sure we all have wanted at this point. But folks, let's go ahead and go down here real quick. We're going to start getting ready for configuration for landing here. Just because, you know, yeah, we're up here at flight level 310, but let's make sure we pull down the ATIS here. So we're going to go to IEX, then data link. We're going to go to ATIS, and then we need to pull up the ATIS for EGLL, which is London Heathrow's ICAO. Also, if you'd like to, too, you can drop an exclamation mark METAR space EGLL into the chat, and we'll get the METAR there for London Heathrow. So right now it's saying ATIS is unavailable for London Heathrow. Now, because of VATSIM being offline there at that airport right now, that makes sense, so we need to pick up a METAR instead. Now, I can also do a METAR, so I go to Weather, and I go to Request. We're going to type in EGLL in here. We'll go ahead and click that in the top left corner, click Send. Now we'll click Return, and we're going to go click View. Alright, so we got the METAR for EGLL. So observation was made at 2250 Zulu. So we have winds 220 at 15, broken clouds at 1600 feet. We have the temperature at 11 degrees, dew point's 9. See here, what else do we need from this? I think that's about all we need. Okay, so QNH is 1018. That all looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and punch that in here really quick as we're descending just to make sure we have QNH set up. That's another cool new feature about working Title Mod 11.1. So now we can actually set the second changeover without even having to click back. So now if I click back, it goes to 1018. But if I go back to standard and I want to change it, I can dial it up, I can dial it down, put it wherever I want, and that means the second that I click that button, it's going to put me at 1018. And I know that because it's showing right here on the primary flight director. So we're showing 1013 standard, which is what's currently set. And then it's on standby for 1018 when I press the button. So kind of cool. Yeah, I know the weather's not promising. If you see this weather radar right now, folks, this does not look like a very good approach coming down into London Heathrow. So I'm a little bit interested to see what we're about to run into. I'm going to go ahead and just click through some of this really quick, see how bad this looks. I'm not excited about this. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is going to be probably a harder landing than what I'm expecting, especially with winds at 1.5. But we'll see. You know, you never know. We might give this a nice butter landing, or we may be in a world of hurt coming down. Let's go ahead and just click through the waypoints really quick, make sure everything is okay here. Do a little bit of zooming. Okay, so I'm not seeing what I want to see, so I'm going to ignore that for now. We'll jump back out. Right, 2 waypoint. There we go. We're back on the chart here. That looks good. Yeah, folks, I don't know. We're going to see what's going to happen coming down here. But I'll tell you what, though. Rick Astley Smell Like, if you are interested in seeing me do some more crazy kind of things, come join us for a Monday fly-along. There, you know, I don't mind cutting off engines. I don't mind doing barrel rolls or any crazy other stuff. Also, feel free to come and join in 14AD's channel. 14AD is another wonderful content streamer here on Twitch. I do fly as first officer sometimes. Sometimes he flies as my first officer. So you'll be able to see both of us up on the stream at the same time, talking to each other and flying the aircraft with your controls. Another wonderful program that you can use here with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to control your aircraft with a friend. So, you know, I have a friend that lives all the way across the country from me, and we're able to basically do a shared cockpit because of your controls. So, you know, it's something that, you know, it's been added in Flight Sim, another free mod to use. But I have used your controls for quite a while now. Really enjoy using your controls. So yeah, definitely take a look at your controls if you get a chance. You'll probably enjoy it. You'll probably love it. But yeah, I'll go and drop 14AD here on the overlay as well, so you can easily just as much click follow 14AD. To give him a follow. Also, we have Kinesto, another wonderful streamer. He doesn't stream as often as a lot of us, but he does stream, and I think today he wanted to do a landing challenge. I can't remember, but pretty sure there's a landing challenge involved maybe today or tomorrow. So definitely looking forward to that. So take a look at Kinesto. We also have Mr. Pilot 222. Another wonderful streamer. He's more of a professional Airbus streamer. Thank you so much, Adastros Gaming, for dropping in the Quasiguru Interceptor remote. Grateful to have you join us today. Folks, Adastros Gaming is another wonderful streamer. He is currently does a lot of VATSIM ATC controlling. Currently he's on ground, but Saturday he's going to be testing out for his rating to become a tower controller over in Memphis. So if you guys like to get on, if you guys enjoy getting on to VATSIM and you want to talk to a really cool controller that's very down to earth, very kind, doesn't really get angry, he's just cool, you know. I can't say that for every VATSIM controller out there, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of VATSIM controllers that I would say, you know, you can definitely tell when you're wearing on their nerves. Adastros, on the other hand, you know, excellent human being, wonderful individual. Guys, if you can, go check out Adastros Gaming. Really enjoy him. His content's amazing, and a whole bunch of fun to fly around with him. All right, folks, I'm going to go and continue here really quick. So we got Complete Freedom. Thank you so much, Adastros. I totally appreciate that love there. You know, love watching you too, and I'm grateful that you're finally getting back into streaming. So, you know, it's nice to see, you know, after the challenges you've gone through within the last month or two, that, you know, you're able to finally get back in there. So, and I know it's difficult. I know it's very difficult. You know, I dealt with something very similar when I was about 10 years old. So it's not easy, and, you know, especially as we get older and we become adults, it's even more difficult to sometimes process things. So I'm just grateful you're getting back into it and that you're enjoying it. But yeah, folks, Adastros is absolutely amazing. Says he's got some awesome stuff coming for his multiple angles, completely new desk, new game monitor. Folks, he told me earlier on the stream that he had, I think it was yesterday, that he is getting a desk that is a whiteboard. So, you know, if you're a VATSIM controller, or if you're flying on the VATSIM network as a pilot even, it's kind of cool, actually, to have a white top, because then at that point you can take all your notes on it. Like, I do my notes here on paper, right? And paper's not bad, but it's easy to go through so much paper, especially when you're dealing with copying clearances for IFR. If I had a whiteboard desktop, I would be like having so much so much fun. So you did get Touch Portal. Okay, wonderful. You know, I still haven't installed it yet. But I'm hoping to do that soon, folks. If you haven't found out, so there's a program called Touch Portal. It's kind of similar to having your own... it's kind of similar to having a Stream Deck, but you don't pay Stream Deck price. So you can install Touch Portal on an Android device or an iOS device. Even an old iPad 2 will accept Touch Portal, but the cool thing about this program is it's $12 for the total cost of it. It allows you to do all macros. It integrates with Streamlabs, OBS. It's a wonderful it's a wonderful tool. Exactly. So, you know, it's kind of cool to see, you know, programs like that exist. Like right now, for instance, all of my stuff is being done on a program called Streamlabs. What's it called here? Hold on a second here. Streamlabs Deck. And I don't know if you can see that or not. I know it's going to be trying to black out the scene. But Streamlabs Deck, let me go ahead and do something here really quick just so it works a little bit better so you can actually see what I'm showing you. Let me pull up XSplit. This is what I use, guys, okay? This is called Streamlabs Deck. It's another free program, but it's specific for Streamlabs OBS. And the unfortunate thing is it's not as functional as something like Touch Portal. So if you want something that's more like a Stream Deck, I would strongly suggest to you to go ahead and get into a program like Touch Portal, because you can use older hardware, an older iPad, an older iPhone, an older Android device, an older Android tablet, whether it's a phone or a tablet. It's kind of cool. Exactly. So essentially you can set up macros even. So like if I wanted to, I could set up a macro key that could turn on my autopilot for my airplane, right? I could set up a macro key that would turn on VS mode or FLC, or I could have dials theoretically acting as macros on Touch Portal, and I could set up different camera angles and change scenes and do all this stuff. The unfortunate thing is with a program like Streamlabs Deck, I can't do macros. It's very specific to slabs, very specific to Streamlabs OBS, so it's unfortunate, you know, that I don't have as much free control as I would normally. Okay, folks, so we're down below 16,000 feet, flight level 160 over here, coming down into London Heathrow. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to, from standard, over to our current baro set of 1018 QNH here, over here in London Heathrow as we're descending. Looks like we are currently right below glide path, so at least we're coming down at a good rate. Let's go ahead and just check over our legs here really quick, make sure everything's good and kosher here. Hope my MFD did not just lock up. That would be terrible. Okay, we're good. We're good. I thought it was broken for a minute. Okay, folks, let's come down here really quick. So it looks like we need to be down to at least 7,000 feet by Oscar Charlie Kilo. So let's go ahead and just take a look at where we're at again. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my memory 1 here on the CJ4 working title mod. Right, so we are currently 10.5 miles away from Dorky, then 17.4 miles away from Oscar Charlie Kilo. So it looks like we're currently descending at a rate of about 1,370 feet a minute. So we're actually right on flight, right on basically the glide slope coming down. Unfortunately, folks, we are also in some really choppy weather coming down. This weather is absolutely crazy right now. And Adastros, I don't know if you heard or not, but cool thing about Flight Sim 2020 today. So we got an announcement from Microsoft Flight Simulator official on Twitch. So that's basically their direct developers. They are now bringing working title mod on with Asobo. So essentially, all the working title stuff, like the Garmin 1000, 3000, G3X, and the working title mod CJ4, they are eventually going to be put into the base simulator. So at that point, people are going to have more study-level avionics. They're going to have study-level avionics. They're going to have all these other cool things going on here. I'm waiting for us to get below these clouds because you're going to see something really cool. So Microsoft Flight Simulator just recently added contrails to the simulator. Yeah, this was part of the update yesterday that we got. Also, the CJ4 working title mod just got, we just got some more features too on top of that, so it's kind of cool. I'm going to go and shut off my landing lights real quick. I'm going to go over to Pulse here, coming down. because we're coming down below 10,000 feet. We're also in the fog, so I want to make sure that, you know, people can see us coming down here. All right, folks, we're almost down here in London. Thank you guys so much for joining in with the Quasiguru Twitch channel day, learning something new about Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, learning that Working Title Mod is joining their team of developers, that these people that have been donating their time now are now going to get paid for working with the Zobo. So it's kind of cool. You know, we've got a plane that's, the CJ4 is basically study level at this point. I mean, it's probably 75% of the way there, and it just keeps improving. I mean, I'm sure this is going to slow down some of the development process, because that's generally what happens when you start to bring on a big developer, right? Or I'm not going to call Working Title a big developer, but it happens when you bring on any developer, because at that point, you know, they're no longer volunteering their time, they're getting paid for it. And so I'm curious where this is going to lead us, if that means that we're going to be dealing with more of a, how should I say it, if we're going to see better overall updates, or if they're going to be more frequent. It's really hard to say. I mean, you know, unfortunately, I think the one sad thing with Flight Sim 2020 is, you know, we get these updates so frequently, right? And we get these updates and it breaks other things. And the one thing that threw me off is today, looking at Working Title Mod's Discord, was they made the announcement saying that, you know, you should be there at the developer session, you know, today with Microsoft Flight Simulator. That didn't completely throw me, but what I think threw me off is the fact that, you know, Microsoft is now open to another developer that's open source coming in saying, hey, we've done all this work on your avionics, we've done all this work on your CJ4, and they're basically doing study level work. I mean, you know, the team with the Zobo Studios right now, the team with the Zobo Studios, the team with Working Title Mod. Look at this, guys. Look at this. You see all this traffic right now? So the one directly behind me is probably Kinesto coming down on the descent, but the rest of this is VATSIM traffic. So I did something I probably shouldn't do. I went on Join FS so Kinesto could join the flight with me, because he does not want to do VATSIM yet. I think he doesn't feel like he's ready for it yet. But I think Kinesto would do a fantastic job regardless. But you know, he doesn't feel like he's ready for that, so I'm not going to push him into something he doesn't want to do. Of course, you know, I think it'd be good to possibly get him in at MSFS sometime, especially when you got Tower Astros, and have him fly traffic there so he can learn a little bit more about VATSIM, because I know you won't beat him up too much. Hyper P820 Aero was just released by Just Flight. Really? I did not know that the Aero just got released. I'll have to go take a look at that. But yeah, you know, guys, I'm excited for the changes that we're now starting to see in the simulator. I never thought we would start to see these changes in Microsoft Flight Sim, and I didn't think we were going to see them this fast even. Because it's a new sim, right? It's a brand new simulator. Alright, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing slowed down a little bit more. I'm going throttle idle now because these winds are kind of whipping us around. Probably getting a decent tailwind now, too, so let's get this thing slowed down some. I'm going to bring it down below about probably 220 knots or so, because we're getting so close to the airport. We're currently about 20 miles out from London Heathrow. And like I said, it's the first time landing at London Heathrow, so it's the most expensive plane so far, $45. Okay, yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I'm okay with a plane costing money if it is decent, right? I kind of feel like a lot of times we see all this. Okay, so yeah, this is crazy right now. I've got traffic all around me. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make an announcement here really quick. I can't believe that I've got this much traffic around me right now. Ooh, gosh, okay, this is kind of crazy for a flight right now. We are just in the thick of things here with the clouds and all. Folks, I'm going to drop in here the METAR again. I need to make sure what I'm dealing with here coming down into London. EGLL, right? Yeah. Okay, 02250, broken at 1,600 feet. Oh, crap. Well, we got a minute before we actually are able to see what the heck's going on in front of us. Yeah, okay. You're on the final already? Oh, jeez Louise. At least you're freaking moving there, man. You're flying pretty fast, though. Alright, I'm going to wait till I'm established on localizer. I'm going to make a call out because I really can't tell what's all around me. This is freaking nuts right now. I can't believe this many people fly into Heathrow and Batson. Of all things. I mean, I get it, because I guess there was an event today with London Heathrow. They were doing Gatwick Madness, but I flew out of Rome because they had an event going on. I didn't realize there was another event going on, and right now, of course, I'm uncontrolled airspace because the event's over, so I really wish I was in a controlled airspace right now, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's kind of nice to at least see that we're starting to break cloud layers some. Guys, this is gonna be another approach like my affiliate stream was, I think. I almost feel like we're probably not going to see that runway until last second. I know it is, and I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing, but I don't know. I'm going to go and start really slowing this thing down. I'm going to get some speed brakes in here, so I can at least watch for traffic. Jeez Louise, folks. And see, it's also very quiet over here right now in Batson, which makes absolutely no sense. I get you're a congested airspace, but you know what, people, you gotta speak up, because... And the other problem is, too, you know, flights in 2020, a lot of these planes don't have TCAS, so, like, right now, I don't have TCAS. So, I would love to have TCAS right now, dealing with this approach, but I don't have it, so... I'm just gonna have to deal with whatever. Okay, so we're almost on the ILS localizer here. Should be on runway lock here any second, too. Alright, here we go. Runway was at how many feet? Actually, I need to go and descend. Alright, I'm going to shut off the autopilot here. I've got control of the aircraft. Let's see what my DME count is here, too. Alright. I think we're lined up for the runway. I can't really tell yet, though, to be honest. I'm going to click autopilot back on. I'm going to go to approach mode. There we go, we're on the localizer officially, and we are descending. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Okay, yep, it grabbed it. It grabbed it. We're good, okay. Alright, folks, so we're descending here into London Heathrow. If you haven't already, make sure you drop in that predict button really quick for me. Yeah, so that's actually a Twitch overlay there, Dastros. I'll have to tell you what it is here in a second, because I really need to focus on this landing for a minute. Let's see here. Do I still have it up right now? I do. Okay. So I'm going to take that down just temporarily for now, but I'll tell you what that is here in a minute. Alright, folks, we're established on the localizer. I'm 4.6 miles out from runway, what is that, 27 right, I think? I believe it's 27 right. Oh, crap. Come on. Tune in. 27 right. London Heathrow traffic. Citation 73 Hotel Papa. 4 mile final for runway 27 right, established on localizer. Alright, folks, so here we go. We're coming down for the landing here. We're at flaps 35. We're going to go ahead and make sure everything else is programmed in. Doesn't look like I sent off my information to the FMS, so we're slowly descending through this mush of a soup, as Adastros like to call it there earlier. It's definitely soup for sure coming down. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into approach here real quick. Let's go ahead and punch in winds really fast. We've got 220 at 15. So a nice windy day here in London Heathrow. I'm also trying to watch speed coming down so the plane can fly itself and I don't need to control it too much. 220 at 15. You know, it's probably better to do this configuration earlier, right? You know, right before you not right before you land your airplane. So just throwing it out there, folks, you know, be professional, don't do what I'm doing. You know, stay just, you know, focus on what you need to do. Don't wait till last minute. I'm going to lie about the QNH here real quick just to get reference speeds. Okay, so we got approach at 105. All right, folks, here we go. We're coming down in here. We've got runway in sight. I'm going to go ahead and take control now. We are directly on the glide slope. Let's go ahead and get control. Yaw damper is going to off. All right, here we go, folks. I've got full control of the aircraft. If you haven't yet already, make sure you drop an exclamation mark predict into the chat for the landing rate. Adastros, you're more than welcome to do that. Canesto, can you show him how to do that real quick if he doesn't know how to already? But folks, make sure you drop in that prediction really quick, folks. If you do win the landing rate challenge, I am willing to gift you a subscription to the Quasiguru a tier 1 gift subscription to the Quasiguru channel. If you're not already subscribed here, I'll give you a subscription to any channel of your choice. You're also able to give that subscription away if you would prefer to. I know we've had other people choose to do that as well. And, you know, I do appreciate when people do that as well, because, you know, it also helps, you know, continue to support the Quasiguru Twitch channel. Folks, thank you so much for joining in today. Hopefully we have a nice soft butter landing here. I don't know about that, though, because right now my FPS is starting to drop. And, oh god, okay, here we go. Alright, I'm trying to focus on the landing here. I'm gonna go ahead and start the flare here. Throttle idle. It's a lot harder than I wanted to come down, I know, but... Oh, geez Louise, okay, yeah. Major frame rate drop. But you know what, though, folks? That's still butter when you think about it, especially at a place like London Heathrow, right? Alrighty, here we go. Let's go ahead and get ready to cross over here. Alpha 7, okay. London Heathrow traffic, citation 73 Hotel Papa, clear runway 27 right at Alpha 7. Alright folks, here we go. We're going to get ready to taxi over here to the terminal real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do a real quick reconfiguration. We're going to go and throw on the taxi lights really quick here. Of course, you know, those winds coming down did not help, so just throwing that out there. But thank you guys so much for joining in with the Quasiguru Twitch channel today. We do appreciate your time that you've spent with us. Lee413 has won the prediction. Looks like you're already a subscriber here at the Quasiguru Twitch channel, so let me know what channel you would like a subscription to, and if you don't want to be subscribed somewhere else, of course, you know, you're more than welcome to give it away. That's totally up to you. But we do totally appreciate your time here. All right, folks, we're going to go and just take a look around here really quick. We're clear to our left. We are clear to our right. Doesn't look like there's any other traffic around us. We're going to go ahead and taxi to the terminal then. All right, folks, let's go ahead and call that out really quick. London Heathrow traffic, citation 73 Hotel Papa, Alpha 7, crossing runway 27 left. Taxi to terminal. Alright, here we go, folks. Taxiing right across the way here. You want to give it away, okay, with Thor 13, so you let me know potentially who you want it to be given to, or that, or I can do a real quick raffle even, so we can go ahead and whoever's in here right now can also possibly get it too, so take a right. Okay, I'm going to take a right. Give me 1 second here, Canesto. Jeez Louise. That was freaking nuts coming down in here, though. That's the other thing, folks. So the Citation CJ4 doesn't have windshield wipers, you know, like, you know, all the other big jets do. The CJ4, though, does have the ability to use air pressure, essentially, to clean off the windshield. That's something that's not completely modeled here on the CJ4 yet. But there are some cool things that have come to the CJ4 that we just recently have had added. So, working Title Mod version 11, which just got released yesterday, added in Navigraph charts. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a $80 subscription to Navigraph. Okay? However, with that being said, working Title Mod, they did add that feature in. It's kind of cool. I can probably link you guys to a YouTube video showing it off. But next week, I think I'll probably grab a Navigraph subscription so I can have the charts directly in the airplane, so I don't have to pull those up manually. But yeah, currently it's kind of cool, you know, that we're getting all these features and stuff. But yeah, we had basically a butter landing here, even though, you know, it was kind of rough coming down. A lot of crosswind there on the landing. Was doing a lot of corrections for that crosswind, and I still think we put it down pretty butter-like, right? Like, I would call that butter still. David Scott called it butter even, so... You're by the circly things, huh? Oh, I see you. Okay, I'm coming up on you. I see you. Yeah, but folks, thank you so much for joining in with the Quasiguru Twitch channel. I do appreciate all the support that you've given me, you know, over this time that, you know, we've started streaming. I never thought I would be a person streaming on Twitch, right? Like, I always wondered why people streamed what I classified at the time as video games, and I get it now. I totally get it. Because the communities that surround some of these gaming communities, right? Like, Flight Sim even, right? Or if you're a VATSIM pilot or a VATSIM controller, there's a whole bunch of people that want to hang out with you. And it's so much fun, folks. I think, honestly, the flight sim community is one of the best communities here on Twitch. And, you know, whether it's a pilot on VATSIM, whether it's a controller on VATSIM, whether it's someone just having fun, right? There's a whole bunch of people that are here just to have fun with each other. So I'm grateful for that. Canesto, you spun those engines down, right? Because I think I'm just going to park under your wing here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Park under your wing. But thank you guys so much for joining in with the Quasiguru Twitch channel. I do totally appreciate your love and support. We have love in the air here tonight with Canesto Boeing 7. Shortly though, folks, he is actually in an 8th reading. Thank you guys so much for joining in with the Quasiguru Twitch channel. I do appreciate all your love and support. I'm going to go ahead and just read off some names here really quick that have stopped by the channel today that are new subscribers. So we had Rick Astley Smell Like us followed the channel, going Sky Pilot for 300 bits for that. Showtax1 also followed yesterday. We're 97 followers. So we are 3 followers officially away from being at 100. I never thought that would be something that would happen, but it has officially happened here too. So I'm overwhelmed. I'm having a good time here, folks. I did forget to start the flight recorder earlier, so I do apologize for that. But folks, thank you guys so much for joining in here. It's been an absolute wonder to have everybody on board. You know, one of the things this community has helped me with is helped me overcome some struggles, you know, with dark days and stuff, and it makes me realize that, you know, streaming is so much more than just dealing with an audience. It's about enjoying it with other people too, right? And, you know, Canesto joined me today on Join FS on the flight, and it was kind of fun. But thank you guys so much for joining in. Adastros Gaming, thank you for stopping by. I know it was towards the end of the stream, but I'm grateful to have everyone on board here today. Folks, I'm probably, let's see here really quick. I know Lethor told me to give away the subscription to somebody else. So I'm trying to find someone to possibly give this away to. I'm going to go ahead and actually start up a raffle really quick. And then we can just do it by a raffle here to see who's going to win. But give me 1 second here. So uptime doesn't work in here, Canesto. I can probably pull that up in Phantom Bot, though. Give me 1 second here. I don't have that command issued. So we've been up totally for 3 hours and 37 minutes at this point. So I'll add that command into Phantom Bot, though, so it can actually keep recording it. But yeah, 3 hours and 38 minutes right now. So that's how long we've been up right now. I can't believe I've been up that long, but you know, it took me a little bit to get started. I think we talked a lot about, you know, flight sim news and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and do a real quick raffle here, folks. I'm going to go and start up the raffle here. If you enter an exclamation mark enter here into the chat, 1 second here, let me get that started. All right, if you enter an exclamation mark enter into the chat, that'll enter you in for the giveaway here really quick.
Courtesy Airways 9722, holding short, runway 27 right.
All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM too. All right, so we're now off the VATSIM network. Here, David Scott, looks like your name's showing up now. Go ahead, people, go ahead and enter really quick, you know. Let's see who else we can possibly give this subscription away to, and whether that's to my channel or somebody else's. Totally fine with me. It doesn't bother me, you know, if you guys want to have the subscription here or somewhere else. So, all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and start shutting down the lights on the aircraft. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining in today. We're currently, like I said, 3 people away from 100 followers. So I'm getting excited for that. All right, sounds good there, Canesto. Thank you so much, David Scott. I totally appreciate that. You know, it's it initially started off somewhat challenging. I think there's a lot to learn. And then eventually, you know, you get to the point where you're just having fun with the rest of the people, right? And I think that's what really matters all the time. Yeah, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll be above 100. I feel like, you know, a lot of things slowed down after like 75 or so. But that's totally fine. I get there's, you know, ups and downs and little peaks and troughs and stuff like that, so. But thank you again, once again, everybody for joining in. Folks, make sure you drop an exclamation mark enter into the chat here. Because we only have David Scott in the entry here. So, I don't mind drawing it if you guys want me to. I know Lethor13 said give it away. I don't know who wants it though, folks. Exclamation mark enter into the chat. But it was a good flight, though, folks. I'm grateful that, you know, I had a lot of you on board. A lot of you stayed for the entire stream. David Scott was here for a big part of the stream, so I totally appreciate the time that you've actually given me today, too, even. So, But folks, London freaking Heathrow. Absolutely gorgeous here. It's raining here in London. Let's go ahead and go to clear skies real quick so we can actually see the terminal a little bit better. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? What a cool airport. What a cool freaking airport. Got the fuel tanks over here too. Were you way too low on the approach? Yeah, I believe it. Alright folks, well, it looks like David Scott's the only one in here, so David Scott, who would you like a subscription to? So you're already subscribed here, and you know the other options too. I can renew you after you expire too, if you'd like. So you let me know, David Scott, where you want that subscription to. Yes, you do. Let me see here really quick. Let me pull them up really quick. Yes, you do. I've never seen this person before. Where do they stream? Oh, they stream Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sweet. Let's see here really quick. Let's do this. I'll drop them a follow really quick. Give them some love. So it doesn't look like they are an affiliate. He's not an affiliate. He's not a partner because I'm not seeing any way to subscribe to him. Are you seeing a subscribe on your page there, David Scott? Gotcha. Okay, so that could be it too. Is there anybody else? Well, I know there's a lot of people on Twitch that don't have affiliate or partnership status, and that's so they can, you know, multi-stream even. Adasters Gaming, welcome back. I don't know if you saw that landing, but it wasn't the most beautiful landing. I think it was like 135 or something coming down. Yeah, it was 135 recorded. It was, yeah, I feel like it was kind of rough coming down, but then again, we had 15 knot winds. I mean, it's still better landing, you know, as far as, you know, descent rates go. I was really hoping for something a little bit better, but plus my frame rate started dropping, so of course I didn't get the smooth butter I totally wanted, but at least we made it here to London Heathrow, and you know, we're all alive, and we're all having a good time, and Kinesto's replaying right now on his stream, well, on his simulator, you know, to see how his approach looked and stuff. I totally forgot to record mine, because I'd be replaying it right now if I could. But I'll tell you what, David Scott, do me a favor, go ahead and drop a whisper to me, or message me direct in my Discord to let me know who you'd like a subscription to, and I'll go ahead and send that to you, okay? Alright folks, thank you so much for joining in at the Quasiguru Twitch channel. Your love and support is absolutely incredible. You recorded the whole flight. Awesome, Kinesto, awesome. But yeah, your love and support's absolutely appreciated. I totally appreciate everything that you guys have done for me, and remember something, you know guys, if you drop me a follow, I'm going to drop you a follow as well. I'm definitely one of those people that believe in completely supporting everybody that supports you. So, you know, if you know I haven't followed you yet, it's probably because I haven't just clicked in my community area to pull up my follower list again just to make sure I've got everyone followed. But I'm gonna drop Rick Astley a follow here, and I think he was the only one that I have not followed yet. So, but folks, you know what? I love popping into everybody's channel when they're streaming, because you know what the thing is this community is so wonderful. You know, the flight sim community is so expansive. There's so many different things that we're learning that are completely new. And folks, I'm just grateful to hear that Asobo Studios today made the announcement that they're bringing on working Title Mod as part of the team to continue to improve our experience with Flight Sim 2020. And earlier, you know guys, one of the updates that we saw from Microsoft Flight Sim was the added contrails in the air, so that was kind of cool, right? But yeah, it's really cool to see this. Oh my gosh, Kinesto. dancing all over the ground there. But yeah, folks, thank you guys so much for joining in. Thanks, Canesto, for joining in on the Flight and Join FS. Folks, we do have some more VATs and adventures coming up here soon. I believe Friday, after Complete Freedom streams, it'll probably closer to 8:30 at night. We're going to be joining in on the, I believe it's the It Always Snows in Alaska event. There's a VATSIM event happening over there in Alaska, and that's going to be at Papa Alpha November Charlie. It's going to be the airport we'll be flying out of that day. I'll probably do a flight maybe over to Seattle and see if we maybe get some ATC coverage over there. There's always that possibility. But that'll be Friday night, starting probably about 2000 Central, or also known as 0200 Zulu. So I hope to see you guys there too. Sweet, Canesto. There you go. There you go. But yeah, folks, thank you guys so much for joining in. I hope to see you on the next flight here on Friday. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day, and do keep this in mind. Remember this, folks. There's always purpose in your life. Stick around. You're needed. You're needed by somebody, right? I think people forget a lot of times that no matter how bad things are, things do always get better. So always remember that. That's the way I like kind of ending these streams now, because it's so easy to get lost in the daily hustle and bustle of our lives that sometimes we forget that some things are a little bit different. But Canesto is suggesting let's go ahead and send a raid over to Live Fly Guys. So let's go ahead and give him a raid here really quick, folks. Thank you guys so much for joining at the Quasiguru Twitch channel. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, and I hope you all are happy, healthy, and having a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.